Yo, peace, y'all. This is the Views from the 7 podcast. This your guy, spend some joint with my homeboys. Skinny.
Yeah.
That's so.
Yes, sir.
I kind of feel, but I got shit come over here, nigga. I thought I was gonna do some shit, man.
Cool, man. Let's throw back, man.
This nigga came in with some outcast shit. Ain't about a bitch.
Throw back, baby.
Ivan.
What's good?
Big Ive.
What's going on?
We have another man, special guest, man. I've been following this brother for a year. A year.
Cool minute.
And I remember I was like, yeah, man, his storytelling is elite.
Oh yeah.
And our age, man, there's a lot of information that you give that we wasn't privy of. But the thing that stands out is the storytelling. Oh my God. I would introduce this brother, but with your blessing, can you introduce yourself with your intro?
Oh, very.
Yes, please.
You know who it is. The horror flick, Digger Ditch, Super 6, BIGG Mitch. And I'm kicking in those with all 3 O's. And I'm bringing 28 501-101s because we Vegas sons. It's the Chronicles. And welcome to the Meadowlands. Yeah, you in the Meadowlands, and you already know what's happening with it. 530, baby. Boom, boom. Big Bolo Yang. You already know these ain't McClains, man.
There you go. Big Mitch, man, I appreciate you for joining us. That intro is elite. I like that shit, man. Nigga, I be at work. I find myself.
Man.
So where y'all want to start, man? You know what? We gonna get into the past and how you came up, but I really want to know what made you, with so many pieces involved, what made you start the Vegas Chronicles?
Well, honestly, my female, my girl, man, I talk to her a lot. You know what I'm saying? I know I done got old now, man, and I let empathy have its place. And so sometimes, when you healing, because I've been through so much in life, you need somebody that can just lend you an ear. Don't encourage me, don't do nothing, just listen. And she's been the one that's, been to listen to me. And so she said, baby, you know what? I had a premonition. I said, what was that? She said, I seen you on the stage just talking. I seen you in front of a stage and you were just talking to the youth. And one of the most powerful things in the world is a woman's intuition. So when a woman tell you something like that, it took me a minute to come to terms with that because I feel like, even though I'm not in that no more, if I really bring forth what I know, am I going against the code? Am I really, because there's a lot of people that don't want their names mentioned. There's a lot of people that feel certain situations is just too, sentimental to be talked about, So I had to struggle with that. But once I said, you know what, I don't know nobody nothing but myself. And if, God left me here, he left me here for a reason. And so I figured out, it's better for me to take what I am, which is an open book, and use myself and my life experience to teach the youth, so they don't go down the road I went down, I lost so much in this game, man, it's unbelievable. And when we get through talking, you're gonna understand clearly what I'm telling you. So if y'all got any questions about Vegas, about this game, bring them.
Where we starting?
Start with your beginning, your upbringing, like growing up.
Oh, I'm gonna be honest with you, man. My father, I know y'all had reputables on here. Y'all had Michael Finley on here.
Yep.
You had Blue Mile on here.
Yeah.
But see, before it was a Michael Finley or before it was a Blue Mile, it was my father. My father broke the ice. He cracked the ground for what was known as banging in Vegas. My father come off 40 block. He come off Belzar. But my father is the face of the Gerson. The Gerson was put up in 1964, 1965. It's not the oldest projects. That goes to Marble Manor. They was put up in 1953. Y'all know it as West Coast Blood.
Yep.
Okay, well, the Gerson, which started off with 3 buildings, 6 units, with 3 blocks, 6 units, 9 buildings. That's where we get the number 369. You see?
Wait, say it again. It's a little slower.
3 buildings, 3 blocks, 6 units, 9 buildings. When they first built Herbert Gerson, that's what it started off as. So that's where our number 369 come from. But before there was ever an ace of spades. See, people always go back to the ace of spades. And they make y'all believe that, okay, this is the first gang in Las Vegas. That is true. The ace of spades. And then it was 28th Street. And then it was the GQs. Okay? But before any of that, it was the associates, which was my father. It was the Byron Boys, which was the Greg and Vince Turpin. They come off Donna Street. Day before Carl Wesley. Day before the GQs. And it was the Funkadelics. It was like the Highland Magicians. Highland is what we now call Martin Luther King. That used to be called Highland. It was an organization called the Highland Magicians. Don't nobody know about that type of history. They start off with the Ace of Spades. I know who started the Ace of Spades. I'm born and raised in Herbert Gerson, 2179 Gearing Circle. That's where I was born and raised. I know who started the Ace of Spades, but that's not where it started with. It started with my father. Wow. And they kicked my father out of the state of Nevada in 1979. So when you hear about the helicopter incident, that's my father.
No shit.
Oh, shit.
I sit up here with anybody you can find from Las Vegas, and they'll tell you, you can't mention nothing in Vegas in its foundation without mentioning that name, Sheepdog. That's my father. When my father died,
I do know that name.
When he died, did you hear KCEP say, "Rest in peace to the legendary Sheepdog"? It started with him. I'm being 100 with you. Ask anybody. Ask Michael Finley. They can't say Vegas without saying Sheepdog. My father was not allowed back on Vegas soil, even to the day he died.
How do you get kicked out of a whole state?
The whole state. He was kicked out of the state of Nevada in 1979 because he was whooping police. That's what he was known for. He was known for his hands. See, that's what Blue Mile and all them grew up doing. They grew up doing this here. They was fighting. I come from the era of the gunplay, you know? Yeah. So what we did is we took something that started with my father that, you know, grew with Blue Mile, Carl Wesley, you know, Master G, Stacy McElmore, and a bunch of other people. And we took that and we diminished it because we stopped fighting. We stopped, you know, going to neighborhoods, getting down. See, back then, that's how you gangbang. But everybody left. You might have had a limp, you might have had a knot, but you went home, you know what I mean? And you was able to come back to fight another day. But in 1987, what happened was the GQs was dying off. The Parus was seasoned. If y'all got any questions on that, bring them.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
We letting you cook.
There was no such thing as Donna Street. Okay, I watched Donna form. There was no such thing as Diana Street. There was no such thing as ABM. There was no such thing as 40 Block. There was no such thing as the Brownie Boys. There was no such thing as none of that. You know, this when 6 Souls was on 40 Block, when Crip City was Crip City Gangsters. See, this real history right here. You see, but everything changed in 1987, December 4th. My homeboy, his name was David Vaughn. We called him LD Zave. He got set up by a female, and they was lured along with another one of my cousins. They call him Killer Can. They got set up, and they went to a party at the Comfort Inn, and he was unalived. He was shot in the head 3 times by the West Coast Bloods. God damn. Okay, now, that right there, that incident sparked a war between the West Coast Bloods and the Gerson Park Kingsmen. That woke up banging in Vegas because everything was so docile. There was no murders. People wasn't getting knocked down then. People were still kind of fighting. But when that happened to him, it changed the game because the crack epidemic was in full-fledged gear. You know, everybody was having money now. Everybody had Cadillacs, you know, so everybody had this here. So when L got killed, we went from this here to this here. And then all hell broke loose because shortly after that arose the Donna Street Crips.
Ivan?
You used the term I didn't understand. You said the Parus were seasoned?
They were seasoned, meaning they were already here. The Parus, look, the Parus started off really in Cadillac Arms. It started with 5 people. Now, they know their history better than me, but I would say this much. The Mickey Simmons, and I don't want to be putting their names out there because some dudes, you know, but it started with 5 dudes. They was in Cadillac Arms, okay? Now, the majority of the Parus, before they were Parus, they were called the Bang Bang Gang. And a few of them were West Side GQs, okay? But the majority of them were called the Bang Bang Gang.
So it was a West Side GQs?
Of course.
I just thought GQs was just one thing.
No, GQs were on Donna Street. That's where they originated at. It started with 3 people, okay? And they were a dance group. And they became a gang because of the Gerson. One of their original members used to be a Gerson. But see, the GQs, which stands for Gentlemen's Quarters, they started off as a dance group, okay? They was a singing and dance group. And it started with 3 people. Carl Wesley, if you get him up here, he the founder. He would tell you. But anyway, one of them got slit with a razor, and that's when they got into it with the Gersons. But when the GQs came off, everybody liked their style because they was debonair. And they were known for having the women. They were like a bunch of Michael Jackson looking dudes that would beat the brakes off.
They all had curls, yeah.
Yeah, but see what they did is when they formed, they engulfed everything in Vegas. Everybody wanted to be a GQ, so you had Northtown GQs, you had Sydney Sue GQs, you had Bonanza Village Baby GQs, you had Undercover Crips, which that was started by, you could put Main Chaney over there. They were started by the GQs. The War Babies had GQ influence. The OGs had GQ influence. Everybody had a GQ influence basically except the Rolling 60s and the State Playboy Gangsta Crips, which is Blue Mountain.
So what did all these other groups turn into? Did they all just become Donna Street Crips by default, or?
No, not at all. See, what happened is when after like 85, 86, the GQs started to die off, and the Sydney Sue GQs became Sydney Sue Gangsta Crips. The Bonanza Village GQs, which was Baby GQs, became Bonanza Village Gangsta Crips. Okay, the West Side GQs, they became Paru. You know, a bunch of them became Paru. The UCCs became Rolling 50s. See, when Donna Street came out, it was like you had a bunch of dudes. Now, they can tell their story better than me.
Yeah.
But we watched them form. The reason why the Gersons and the Donna Streets got along was because some of their original members used to be from the Gerson. The Gersons and the GQs never got along. So why would the Gersons and the Donna Streets form an alliance when the Donna Streets first came out? We never got along with GQs. We hated GQs since their inception. So why would we get along with Donna Street when we know that they're the offsprings of the GQs? So why would the Gersons and the Donna Streets be cool? It's because certain Donna Streets, and I'm not gonna say their names because this ain't about bashing nobody.
Yeah.
Certain Donna Streets come from the Gerson. That's what brought the Gersons down there. That's on everything. Ask anybody.
So when you say as somebody from Gerson, y'all hated the GQs.
Yeah.
What was the hatred back then because they were singing and dancing? Was it just because they was pretty?
No, it was because the Gersons was bullies.
Okay.
We would steal everything that's not bolted down. Look, before dope and crack and all that, man, you come to Gerson, you ain't see nothing but red eyes, white lips. You seen hyenas, you know, and didn't nobody come over there. It was a place that we were racist. White people weren't safe. Gerson was the hub of drugs. That's what PCP came back. You know, I grew up 2 doors down from the Sherm house. My daddy got strung out on Sherm. You know, everybody used to come to the Gerson to get it. When the crack hit, that's what a hub of everything was. It was in Herbert Gerson. You know, so we was just, look, the first rag in Vegas was black, and then it became blue. Okay, so by nature, you know, people, they came together because they didn't like the Gersons. It's just like when Raymond Washington started the Crips in California. The reason why everybody came together and started being Bloods and other things is because of what the Crips was doing. So that's what happened in Vegas. You know, didn't nobody like the Gersons because we was dirty, we'll beat you up, we'll rob you, and you don't have to be doing nothing. That's just how we work. You know? And I'm just telling you the honest to God truth. Did no gang in Las Vegas like the Gersons.
How did they go from the Ace of Spades to the name? Where did the name change come into play? And the rag color?
Well, first of all, the Ace of Spades never really wore a rag. They drove the Ace of Spades insignia were cars. They drove LTDs. So if you seen a caravan of LTDs, you knew that was the Ace of Spades. The rag came into play with the Gerson Park Killers. Now, you would say,
so before y'all was kings, y'all was killers.
Of course, they went from Ace. They went from associates with my father. They went to Ace of Spades, and then they went to Gerson Park Kingsmen's. Gerson Park Killers. Gerson Park Killers and Gerson Park Kingsmen's are basically the same thing. The Ace of Spade card is the symbol of death. Okay, so instead of saying we're Ace of Spade, they just started saying we're Gerson Park Kingsmen's. Gerson Park Killers. And then after Gerson Park Killers came the Gerson Park Kingsmen, and this gonna blow your mind. And I'm gonna tell you the truth. A lot of my so-called ex-homeboys, you know, they're gonna be mad at me for this, but it's the truth, man. The Gerson Park Kingsmen was a basketball team, brother. Yeah, and you had the Gerson Park Angels. You had the GPKs, which was the Gerson Park Kingsmen after they became Killers, because the Killers didn't last long. They the ones that introduced the black rag. And their symbol was also skulls and crossbones. That's why if you ever drove down Belzar and you looked on the side of EOB, it's apartments now. But it was there for a long time. You seen a skull, and you seen crossbones. And you seen names on the wall, like Master G, Dirty Rob, Kenny Mac. And then you seen guns drawn on the wall. That was the emblem. It was skulls and bones, and it was the black rag. And then the GQs, when they came out, and then they put the crib handle on them, they introduced the blue rag. 28th Street was out before GQs, but they had no enemies. They was the only Hispanic gang. So they had no, the Sanchucos weren't out, the Little Locos weren't out, the Los Hermanos weren't out, the Pinoy Boys weren't out. When none of them out, it was just 28. So we didn't consider them nothing, no, like a threat or nothing, you know. But
So my understanding from Gerson's, from certain people that I met, y'all like similar to how California had the jungles, where you just couldn't come in the jungles. That's what Gerson Park was. Like,
One way in, one way out.
You wasn't just coming in here. That's the story that I always hear about the helicopter. Like, that's why you shoot down the helicopter. Y'all not finna watch shit we got going on over here. It was my story.
And I grew up to thinking that was a myth.
no, it was no myth. It actually was two. It was one with with my father them, and it was another one. They didn't shoot it down, but they shot that. They got that big beam, that light they put on you.
Yeah.
They shot that out. You know what I mean? That happened in I think '93.
That's the story. I
Yeah.
heard.
So yeah, it's been going on a lot over there. That's really why they tore that neighborhood down. That neighborhood, man, is I'm gonna tell you something. Once crack was introduced and all that stuff and drugs introduced, the Gerson, it went from being a family because the Gerson was always known to being tight knitted, and it was a big neighborhood, big project. It was the oldest gang, and they was always known for being like family oriented. If one fight, the aunties fight, everybody fight. But when dope and crack was introduced, all that became different. We started being brothers and we became homies. And it was like, it went from me and you, you pumping me on your handlebars to, nigga, get off my car, nigga. You know what I mean? So that's what happened to the Gersons. It was tore from the inside, man. So
As a kid coming up, you see your pops laid down the foundation of it. As a kid coming up, when did you get your introduction to gangbanging? When did it start for you?
I started gangbanging when I was 10, man. When I was 10 years old. I didn't have no, look, I'm one of the only dudes that y'all go ever probably meet that was not jumped in the gang. Can't nobody ever tell you they jumped me in nothing. I was born in this. Look, I'm gonna tell you something, man. I went to ELCO, which is Nevada Youth Training Center. It's like our CYA in Nevada. I went there when I was 12 years old for doing a beer run. I was smoking PCP when I was 12. I was a full-fledged drunk when I was 13. If you ask anybody, I've been to ELCO 3 times, I've been to Tennessee twice, I've been to Caliente, and I've been to the Crazy House. These people did everything they can to find out what the hell was wrong with me, and I'm gonna tell you what was wrong with me. I was a certain dude's son. So with me being the founder's son, I got to go where other little kids didn't go. When they seen me, they was like, little dog, come here. My daddy was known for smoking PCP, so they figured I'd like it too. So they gave it to me.
Damn.
My OGs, people that, that he considered his little homeboys, they showed they respected him by giving his son Sherm.
Jeez.
So my mind didn't have a chance to develop. I was packing. I got caught with my first gun when I was 13 years old. And I'm gonna tell you something. I almost lost my life because I was woke up. I was up like 6 o'clock in the morning. I was up robbing people with an empty gun, and I was full of that mad dog. And I was going home because I was like half asleep, And I was walking down McGuire, and I remember Metro. It was going, toward this. McGuire ran like 3 ways in the Gerson.
Yeah.
It's the biggest street in the Gerson. But the police was going around this big island, and I thought they was gonna keep going, but they busted you. And me and the police ended up on the same street walking, toward one another. So I tried to walk off to the side figuring they just go keep going. But they can look at me, I got on green, my eyes bloodshot red. You could tell I'm up to no good. I look guilty. So the police, he jumped up out the car, and my instincts went off. I tried to throw the gun, but it got caught in my drawers. And when I pulled it, I ripped my drawers, and he had that gun aimed right at me. Now, in today's day, I would have been splattered.
Yeah.
But I was able to throw my gun, and it just went like 4 feet. We both looked at it like this here. Me and the police, we looking at the gun I threw. He told me to get down. He found out I was 13 years old. They had to call the ambulance for him, for real. Because he was like, I almost killed a 13-year-old. But that was, my life. I lived a hellish life, man. And I'm gonna tell y'all a story. In a minute that's gonna blow your mind.
So did you feel like you had to protect your father's legacy coming up? Like,
I could never be my father. I found that out a long time. I'm gonna tell you something, man. These guys out here, your homeboys, man, I'm gonna just be so honest with you. That shit is a false, fictitious ass theory. Ain't no such thing as a homie. Well, God gave you your sense to feel, your sense to smell, your sense to see, your sense to hear. Them your homies. That'll never deceive you, your sense. And always remember, common sense. Use that to navigate, because I'm going to tell you something. People thought that since my father can do this, shit, he can fight too. So I was 13 fighting 18-year-olds, and I'm going to tell you something. I ain't wearing too many of them. You know what I'm saying?
For real.
I'm just keeping it 100 with you.
Big age gap.
Yeah, so I started doing this very fast, and my thing was I liked it, and then I was smoking PCP. I was hiding doing it because it was taboo back then. If you got caught smoking Sherm back in 1987, people would call you a crackhead.
No, it's still taboo. I don't know if you.
Yeah, well, it was, but see,
PCP had a moment where that was the cool drug in Vegas.
Yeah, everybody was strong.
At one moment, that was the cool drug. That was what everybody was doing.
What moment was this?
That shit was
That
like
was about the
that shit was
80s?
like weed. Yeah, like early '90s. Like I got a lot of cousins that was in that smoke Sherm. Like early '90s. Like
That was a West Coast thing.
if you was
Teenagers.
the hustlers, everybody was smoking Sherm. Like that's what they was doing.
Primos.
That shit was normal for them.
Sherm is what really did us in, man. I remember it made a comeback. Sherm made a comeback in 1989. See,
come back.
He made a comeback. Wow. Sherm, see, when my father then was smoking, it was called Angel Dust.
Yeah.
The difference between what my father then was smoking and what we was smoking is that my father then they used mint leaves, dipped in fluid, and we used cigarettes, dipped in fluid. That was the difference. We called them units. You know what I'm saying? We didn't call it water. We called it units. Some people call it Peter Pan. Some people call it Lovely. Some people call it Loot. You know what I mean? I call it Don't Mess With It. You know what I'm saying? And
South Central, that's what they was doing.
Yeah, that's what did us in. When the Donna Street Crips came out, I'm gonna tell you something, man. Them dudes right there, they woke up Crippin' in Vegas. Because Crippin' wasn't really, it was dying off. But when Donna came out, they were so ferocious and treacherous. You had these dudes on Donna Street with these Cadillacs jacked up in the back, man, and these Hawaiian silk curls. They wasn't playing, you know what I mean? And when Boo Boo Swanson got killed, that all hell broke loose. And that's when the 6-0s and Donna went to war. So now you got the Gersons, West Coast Blood at war, and then you had 60s and Donna Street at war. But the Gersons and Donna Street was connected. So Donna took West Coast Blood as their enemy too. And the Gersons took the 60s as their enemy. So the rolling 60s and West Coast clicked up. See, a lot of people don't know that.
Roller coaster.
It's got roller coaster.
And the 60s from California came out here and found out. And I'm gonna let them tell that story. I ain't gonna get into that.
I did hear one of your videos, right? Of all the history, you said when Donna Street was created, it became the fastest growing Crip gang ever.
Let me explain.
What made that so? What made them so enticing?
I'm gonna tell you something. It was it's like a fresh breath of Crippin'. It was like these dudes rejuvenated something they was losing. The Bloods was turned up. The West Coast Bloods, they knocked down the Gerson. Everybody was the coast this, the coast that. 3 to the head, L's dead, 2 more to go. Donna ran Puncho. They was taunting us, So when Donna Street came out, them dudes down there was whooping everything. They came on Donna. They went up in the Indo Mall with ski masks on and Dodger jersey with Louisville Sluggers, whooped everything out up in there. You know what I mean? So, and the ABMs had to come out because the Donna was engulfing everything in Northtown. If you won Donna, you was getting hollered at, and they reignited the war with the hood. They brought the hood back, actually. I'm not going to say they fell off, but when Donna came out, the hood had to get active because they was down there tearing up Civic Center. So they had to get active. I ain't going to lie, we was connected with Donna. We sat back and watched them do what they did. And Donna with them dudes over there was crazy, man. I'm going to keep it 100 with you. They wasn't no joke when they came out, man. So that's what drew people down there. You had dudes that left the Gerson and went on Donna and didn't come back, and you had dudes from California that turned Donna Street because they was that hard. They was. I will give them I would say that. But I'm not glorifying none of that. And I'm going to tell you why. I got a story to tell the youth if the youth watch your channel.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So I want to tell y'all something.
What So how did you said the GQs that turned into Donna? Where did the Crippin' come in? How did it go from a dance group singing and dancing to Crippin'.
Well, I'm gonna be honest with you. If I say that, it's gonna cause controversy, and you know, I don't want to, do that because if I tell you how I started, they go get offended because I'm from where I come from.
From your
so,
perspective.
Yeah, so I'll let them tell it because I'm gonna be honest with you. You can connect the dots. I mean, you got 103, right?
Yeah.
I'm gonna just say this, and I'm gonna leave it alone. You got 104, and you got 107.
Yeah.
Now, the 104 GQs used to be called GQ 104 Backstreet Crips. Okay? This was Axum. And the 107s was called 107 GQ Front Street Crips. Okay? Now, 103, where is that number from? That's Grape Street Watts. 107, where that's from? That's Front Street Watts. 104, what that's
Backstreet Watts.
Backstreet Watts. So we go leave that alone, and we'll let them tell you where it come from because that's their story. If you could get like Carl Wesley or one of they, one of their heads, he'll be more than happy to tell you where they got that handle from because it's a dude by the name of Paps, and that's Carl Wesley's cousin. He got up there and he lied and said he introduced Crippin' in Vegas, so. That's their story, and my thing is, it's best for them to chronicleize that because they go look at me and be like that old. I don't gang bang, man, but it's a lot of them that still do, and I don't want them to say, "Oh, Herb ass nigga up there trying to talk about," I don't want that, what I mean. So that's their story, and they can probably say, what they want to, say.
So let's get into the Gersons then.
Okay.
When y'all, like SO was kind of asking, y'all went from black rags to green rag. When did y'all say we finna put on green? How did green happen?
The basketball team, wasn't it?
Well, no, you got to understand the Gerson color is red, black, and green. If you ever drove on McGuire,
flag.
yeah, if you ever see right by the boys club, we had this wall. It was red, black, and green, and we represent our colors. That's our neighborhood colors. We don't wear red because we're not Bloods, and we the only gang that refused to be Crips or Blood. People say, well, y'all say Cuz. We was saying Cuz before Crippin' was in Vegas. Just like if you go to Chicago and you hear Vice Lord say Young Blood or Blood, you see, they don't know nothing about no Bloods. That's where Cuz come from. And I'm from really over there. I'm really from over there. Yeah. And my thing was, back in the days, a lot of Gersons were saying, we were saying Cuz before the Crips in Vegas was saying Cuz. We were saying Cuz before the GQs was. So when we said it, we didn't mean it as, Crippin'. We didn't know nothing about Crippin', But when once GQs came out and Cuz got more associated with that, you seen a lot of Gerson stop saying that, and you hear Gerson say, "What up, Crown?"
Yeah.
To offset that, because back in the days, the Bloods used to be the Gerson's worst enemies. The Bloods, because the West Side, you have gangs that's really in close proximity to one another. You have 40 Block, you have the Gerson, you have Vegas Heights, you have Valley View. Across the street, you have Berkeley Square. Up the street, you have Piru. You have PB. Up there, you have West Coast. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You got Vegas Heights, Cary Arms, Crib City, Winslow Park. You see Del Monte Co. All the gangs was in close proximity. So we all hated the Bloods because they had one area. They had Piru, PB, and West Coast. Like all the dead presidents. Y'all know what that is?
All the streets of dead presidents, like Jefferson.
Yeah.
That's the heart of the black community, Jackson. Mm-hmm. You see, that's the jugular. So all over there is blood turf. So that's who we hated. But as time went on, Crips became our worst enemy. So we went from being BK to really CK. And I'm gonna tell y'all a story on how that happened.
Is that where the is that where the Cuz with a K came in?
No, that was started in Elko, man. That was, listen, see, people, and I hate that because people, man, a lot of people don't be knowing what they be talking about, man. That was a fib that was started by a certain individual in Elko back in 1988, man. And it started off as, Cuz just trying to separate, the C's from the K's because, like I say, Crip gangs started to arise like in 89. So to separate what we was saying from what the Crips was saying, we'll put Cuz with a K, and like people say, like we used to go K down, Cuz, and we say K down. You know how if you leave your homeboy, you be like, all right, homie, I'm finna go in. You be like, all right, homie, stay down. Yeah. We start saying, all right, homie, K down. See, that's where they come from. And K Love, that come from when L got killed. You know, when L got killed, that's when we started going K-Love. And see, the Donnas, they got Boo Love from us saying K-Love. That's when they got Boo Love from. So we hear Donna say, on Boo Love. They got that from the Gersons because we was saying K-Love. You see? That's why you see Donna lock C's. Because the Gersons used to lock K's. We was doing that before anybody, man.
Wow.
The Donnas was our like little brothers. They was the little brothers, man. I mean, you got the Graves, which is Charlie Boy, Duke Daddy, and all them. They uncles is Jamie Graves, Kenny Mack, Irvin, Ray. Them straight GPKs. You see what I'm saying? Yeah. You know what I mean? You know, and Dread Mack and all them. Yeah. Come on, man. That's family.
I've always associated 40 Block with Gersons. You saying at one point in time they were two separate?
40 Block was was 6 O's in the beginning. Yeah, that Acorn and Mad Dog came out here from California in 1982, 1983, and that's where 6O originated at in Vegas. It originated on 40 Block, and they migrated off 40 Block around 85, 86, and went into Crip City, and turned Crip City from Crip City Gangsters to Rolling 60 Crips, and 40 Block stopped. You know, the 6 O's died out over there, and 40 Block became what was known as 40 Boys. You see, and they dropped their rags. They wasn't banging. There was a bunch of dudes that walked around messing with females, and they had names like Dis and P. Oh, ready for the world looking ass niggas. You know what I'm saying? And they wasn't on. They didn't have a banging bone in their body. And the founder, which is I'm related to, Buzzo. You know, I'm not finna put his business out there, but you know, after in '89, Laurie started booming because the Sherm hit. Okay. And that's what 40 Block started on Laurie Street in 1989. That's when they started calling. Laurie was first called 40 Block, and then every other street, they just engulfed it. And what put them on the map, because I'm going to be honest with you, when they first come out, didn't nobody pay attention to them. What the fuck? They were like, what the hell is a 40 Block? They y'all wear brown? You know, we like, well, nobody paying attention to that. But what they did is they ended up getting into it with the 60s, and one of the 60s got killed. So when the 6-0 boy, Shaky Low, got killed, that made 40 Block relevant because the 6-0s started going at the block, you know, and they was warring with Donna. So when the 6-0s started going at the block, they gave the block validity. You see? Yeah.
So it was so much associated with. By time my era came around, it's like everything was a part of Gerson.
Yeah.
Like 40 Block is a part of Gerson. Then y'all got both the Carry Arms. I remember Brownie Boys, even some Hillsides would try to say they was a part of Gerson. Like everything was a part of Gerson.
You know why?
That's why I'm asking you right now.
I'm gonna tell you why, bro. In 89. 89 is when a lot of stuff happened. I'm gonna tell you something. In 89, the ABMs came out. In 89, the Brownie Boys came out. In 89, 40 Block came out. In 89, the ABMs came out. In 89, the Hard Time Hustlers came out. Yeah. You see how all these gangs, in 89, Sydney Sue Gangsta Crips came out. Village Gangsta Crips came out. The UCCs turned Rolling 50. This all happened in 89. You see? Now, what happened with the Gerson is that they put a substation in there, okay? And Sheriff Moreno targeted Gerson because we was doing so much. We was being nuisance, man. And they put a substation in there, and the first thing they started doing is 86ing all the Gersons. You see? So what happened is that made the Gersons, the older heads, they couldn't hang in the Gerson no more. So that's why a lot of Gersons ended up in Carry Arms. That's why a lot of Gersons ended up on 40 Block. That's why a lot of Gersons ended up in the Brownies. The Brownies was started by a Gerson. See? And that's why the Gersons ended up in Vegas Heights in a small trailer course. That's where Sonny, rest in peace, had his little crew. So they made it so we couldn't hang out in the Gerson. So we was everywhere but the Gerson. So we took over Carry Arms. We really took over Winslow Park. Because before they was Hillside Gangster, they was 00 Winslow. And they was up under David McAfee. David McAfee was a GPK. You see? Real spill.
Holy shit.
Yeah.
So how did how did they decipher who lived there and who didn't? Like they put this substation in the middle of the middle of the projects. How do they say you not allowed in here, you allowed in here, you live here, you can't be here?
Man, you gotta understand something. Back during them days, man, our gang units. See, we had gang units like the Palmer Boys was the first gang unit we had, which was a bunch of dudes that drove tan Jeeps. Then you had the Nasty Boys. They was in black vans and they had ski masks. They was a little bit too aggressive though, and they was violating civil rights. They was making you know, and we was juveniles and they was jumping out acting like they about to kidnap us, all kind of stuff.
Oh, wow.
So they disbanded them real fast. And then you had Johnson and Johnson. Them the cats that was in the Camaros. You know what I mean? And
baby
yeah.
power.
And then you had the Yellow Jackets. You know, I'm gonna be honest with you, man.
Them Yellow Jackets.
Yeah, what happened was the police when they moved into the Gerson, they was doing stuff that they normally wouldn't get away with right now because of cameras. You know, they was taking our green shoestrings, and if we did something, like if they heard a shooting, they'd take all the basketball courts down, and then they converted, because they moved in like an apartment building, so they converted the rooms in there to cells. So if you walk by and you got on green, they'll put you in there, and they'll have you in there for like 6 hours. You know what I'm saying? Real cold up in the room and stuff like that. So, and then they was walking around, and they'll walk up in your house. You know what I mean? So they'll disrespect your mom. They didn't care. You know what I mean? So that they was running us off. You know, I'm gonna be honest with you. They was running us off because if they seen you, they was arresting you. No questions asked. So we had to get up out of there. We couldn't stay up in there, man. We tried to blow up their cars and all that. I used to set their cars on flat all the time. They couldn't 86 me because I was a juvenile. So I stayed a nuisance. You know, they got so familiar. They used to just come over my house and arrest me. You know, and I used to be like, what I do? They just charged me with obstruction. I'm like, well, I ain't even did nothing. They was like, we know you did something. So they used to just arrest me on GP. And I got my paperwork still. Now, I'll come here one day and I'll let you read it and I'll show you.
What? How? I just can you like imagine an apartment building? Like I'm in jail in my apartments.
Yeah, the apartments, man, they did us foul, but they ran us off, you know, and that's how we ended up in carry arms. Like, that's K9 hood, you know, but you got alley shots over there and all that old stuff, you know.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, you know, and people don't really know how that started. And you have Wax, you have Lokes, you have Dogs, you have the Love Posse, you have Wicked Style Player, you had the Brownies, you know, you got Kin Folk, you got so many different cliques up off the Gerson, it ain't even funny, man.
Then they started saying like that's what I'm saying. Like Gerson had, y'all basically have shit Carrie, all the Carrie. It seemed like damn near all the Carrie was y'all's, and then all the way down damn near the Cheyenne.
Yeah.
So Carrie, MLK, all that shit was Gerson's, and then y'all, yeah, the where?
They gonna get mad at me for this. I don't care, man. You know, I don't take orders, and I never did. They know what's happening with me. I'm retired, man, but shark never loses teeth, man. I'm gonna tell you this right here. It's a Compton crib call. All right? Jesus Christ. It come from a certain individual. I ain't gonna even do you like that, dude. But it come from a certain individual that come from Compton. All right. Was a term we used in the alley, the little carry arms. Okay. And when the police was 86ing us out to Gerson, you know, we bust all the lights out in a little carry arm. So if you come down there, you know, you was gonna run into some dudes that was gonna do you in. You know, so we had to communicate with one another. And you know, it was a certain individual. You know, I'm gonna tell you, his name Little Bread. You know what I mean? And Big Bread. I know y'all heard about cornbread and Little Bread. I don't know if you did. Okay, Little Bread. Little Bread and Big Bread is from California. Big Bread come from 8-9 East Coast. Little Bread from Santana Block. Okay? Now, when Little Bread used to come out of his house, he used to go, You know, you know, that's how he used to communicate. And if there's a homie out there, he'll go, That let you know I'm over here. You know, what people did is they took that and they took something we used to say, hey, homie, let's take it to the alley shop, man. That's when everybody was putting shot out to everything in their sayings, man. Hey, homie, let's take it to the alley shop one time tripping. So you had dudes that took and alley shot, went to carry arms, took Winslow Park color, which was green and yellow. And they made that day color. They took over K9 hood and they started calling themselves alley shots. That's how they came to, and that's how they came to information. I'm just keeping it so 100 with you. Yeah. Carry arms is K9 hood. K9 is let me get in trouble. They gonna be mad at me.
You said because by the time I was of age in mid '90s, I'm not gonna say of age. I was in elementary school, but carry arms, the infamous carry arms, was completely that was Gerson territory.
What?
But I heard on your show that was 60 territory first.
See, you gonna give me a yeah. Well, hey, listen, man. You could put a skirt on the truth. You could put a pair of pants on the truth. But when it's stripped, it's gonna be the truth. So my thing is this shit, man. Y'all got to get your feelings off your shoulders. Put them in your back pocket and sit on them. My thing is this. I'm gonna tell you the truth, man. Carry Arms was 6-0 hood. The founder of K9s is a 6-0. I'm just sorry, y'all. It's the truth. The original K9s used to wear blue rags. It's no secrets. All right. The Gersons moved in on Morton. You had two sides of Carry Arms. You had West Street and you had Morton. West Street faced the Crip City. That's what a 6-0's real base was. And then you had Morton, which faced Delmonico. That was the other side of Carry Arms. Mm-hmm. The Gersons moved in on that side. It was two of them in particular. Everybody know who they are. They moved in over there. One thing they had more of that the 60s didn't. They had dope, and they had guns, and they had a big old gang across the desert to back them. So you had this group of guys, the founder was a 6-0 who come out the Gerson, but started hanging with the Crip City gangsters when they turned 6-0. And the Gersons got mad at him because he was hanging out up over there, and they jumped on him. So he started hanging over there, and he started claiming 6-0. Well, the 60s didn't want to accept this individual because they knew he came from the Gerson. So every time they got mad at him, they attacked him. You ain't from over here anyway. So he felt rejected, and he went in Carry Arms, and he started K9. Now, you say, well, why he start K9? You let them lie to you and say, well, they took the K off GPK and the 9 off 369, and they made K9. That's a lie. No, they didn't. They got their name from dude being known for fighting dogs. He's known for fighting dogs, and he's known for riding motorcycles. That's the truth. And the original K9s, they wore blue rags. But see, the dude that founded K9, he went to the penitentiary. And when the Gersons moved up over there, the K9s had to make a decision. We go turn back 6-0, or we go turn Gerson. Because the Gersons got all the money. The Gersons got everything we need. The 6-0s ain't no big gang like that. They had a couple dudes up over there that was doing their thing, but not like them Gerson dudes. So they chose the Gerson. I was there when they burnt their blue rags. You see, and that's the honest to God truth. You see, and that's how they got formed, man. That's how the K9s came into play, and that's how the Gersons took over K9. We took over the Carry Arms. We had a fight with the 6-0s in that parking lot facing West Street by the security office back in 1989. Easy Big Ezak, rest in peace, met up with some Gersons. He didn't like guns. Eric Eccles did not like guns. He'd rather fight you. He was a big athletic dude. He was having money. He was like, look, man, y'all, it's money on West Street, it's money on Morton. We can get down. We ain't got to go back and forth shooting at each other. Let's get down. But he thought they was just go fight the K9s and Carry Arms. He didn't know it's about 400 dudes coming across the desert to help the K9s fight y'all. The 6-0s did not run. It was about 100 of them. They did not run. They got down. It happened, and the Gersons took over. The 6-0s, they went to Sydney Sioux first, okay? And then they migrated to Rose Garden, where the NTGs were, and the NTGs and the 6-0s clashed, and that's how the NTGs ended up in Wrigley Estates, and the 6-0s ended up in Rose Garden.
Wow. Damn.
So you stated that the Gersons was bullies, and that's what it sounded like. Gersons just started taking over every fucking thing.
Yeah, well, the Gersons and the Donnas was competing. And I want to tell y'all something. I've been aching to tell y'all this.
Let's go.
Y'all know why the Donna Streets and the Gersons not cool no more?
It's over a chick, I'm going to guess.
I'm assuming it has something to do with a woman.
It has something to do with me.
That's crazy.
What do you mean?
I'm going to tell y'all something, man. Y'all remember the Rodney King riots?
Yes.
Yeah.
All right.
92, right?
92.
93?
Yeah.
So I don't
92.
I don't remember.
92.
He was still learning his ABCs. He was.
Well,
They played it in class for us.
when they was trucing in California, we was trucing in Vegas too. And we ran up in Super 6. That's why it's not here no more. And we was going up in the stores. We was doing what they was doing in Cali, And every gang, they put their differences to the side, and we was partying in Valley View, we was partying in the Gerson. We was partying in everybody's hood, you know. Everybody was getting along.
Sound like love.
Yeah, it was love. It was a beautiful thing. But, you know, I'm going to be honest with you. We came together, you know, for a cause, but we only came together to get drunk and get high and go against, you know, white people. And, you know, the thing, it wasn't a white and black thing because it was law enforcement that did that. You know,
Right.
so, but it was, you know, we was beating up everything white and stuff like that. We were just being reckless, man. Yeah.
What a time.
Yeah, yeah, and you know, the governor, he was a Democrat. His name was Bob Miller. When he sent in the National Guards, because they let us tab stuff about 3 days, and he said, "All right, man, enough is enough," because we tried to go downtown. And when we did that, they was like, "Oh, nah, we finna shut this down." This one,
Y'all better not cross Bonanza.
nah, that was when we tried to go down the underpass. They was like, "Ah, nah." And you know, the mayor was Jan Larry Jones. But I'm gonna tell you something people don't know. Bob Miller told the National Guards they couldn't carry live rounds because it would have been a bloodbath. We had all our utensils out there, and we was giving it to them, and they couldn't do nothing but take it, you know, and we was giving it to them. You know what I mean? And all the gangs was getting along. And it was a beautiful thing. We was hugging. We was cool. And then a demon got out of jail. That was me. Right? And if you can see, I got horns on my head, got unholy on my back, unholy on the back of my head. They call me demon in the streets for a reason. I'm finna tell you why. When I got out, it was so much love. I was disgusted. I was like, when I seen Bloods land in the Gerson grass, when I seen NTGs, when I seen ABMs, everybody was getting along. They was smiling. They was just all in jubilee. And I'm sitting back with white lips in the dark. I'm already dark. You can barely see me. You just can see the piercing stare in my eyes and my lips. I'm sitting back and I'm like, and I'm hissing because I don't like it. I don't like it, and I don't want nothing to do with it. Y'all over here hugging and shit. You know what I'm saying? I ain't doing none of that. You know what I'm saying?
You don't like hugs?
None of that. You know what I'm saying? Talking about we are the world type shit. I ain't know none of that, man. You know what I'm saying? What a banging at? Let's get the busing. You know what I'm saying? No, the homie got killed. You know what I'm saying? And that's what I was on. I was on some stupid, man. I'm talking about subhuman shit. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Excuse my French. I don't like to cuss.
No, you can. Yeah.
You know, so I'm finna tell you what happened. So I was telling my homeboy, I was telling Brad, you know, I told Brad, I said, I don't like this shit, man. You know what I'm saying? And, you know, he chilled out, sheepdog. It's all good. It's all love. You know, stuff. I'm like, man, fuck, I don't like none of this, man. And then I was smoking Sherm and all that stuff. Curl blew out. I was burnt out, Shermed out. Curl looked permed out. I was cold. I was toe up. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? And I'm sitting back and I'm telling you, man, if y'all don't believe in God and the devil, do. Because the devil, I made it easy for him to take over my body. And he did. He was like, we go fix this shit here. I said, how we gonna do that? Yeah, he said, we go fix it. Just give it some time. I got you. And I was a very agitated dude. I was aggressive. When I used to see people come over there, they used to try to shake my hand, like the ABL would be like, what's up, Gerson Park? You know, trying to beat. And I used to be like, nigga, what's happening? What you want to be up, nigga? You know what I'm saying? Yeah, I was hostile. I don't want none of that. And they was like, what's up with your homeboy? I was like, nigga, what's up with you? They was like, oh, man, we ain't nobody tripping. They was like, hey, she gone, man. Ain't nobody tripping like that. But they didn't know I wasn't feeling the truth, so I told them. Yeah. So one day, you know, I was in the Brownies, man, and I got into it with this Donna Street trick, man. We was playing cards and stuff, man, and she was winning and stuff, and she kept saying that trade 4-7 on your ass, and I was getting mad, right? And I was sipping on white port, and I was like, this little bald head bitch, I'm getting so tired of her, you know what I'm saying? I was tripping, man. So what ended up happening is I ended up throwing a drink in her face, right?
Okay.
And they put me out and stuff, so now my feelings hurt. You see what I'm saying? They put me out the house.
Hold on, I'm sorry. This is a comedy podcast at heart, so it's just the bald head bitch. I haven't heard that in so long.
Yeah, I feel you though.
Yeah, I was mad. Because she was winning though. That's why I was really mad. Yeah. You know, and she was banging on me. She was talking about Donna. So my feelings was involved. You know what I'm saying? So I got into it with her, and I threw a drink in her face, man. And they put me out. You know, they really hurt that hurt my feelings. They put me out, and I went to the Gerson, and I got with like 12 of my homeboys, and we was all just walking like zombies. We didn't know where we was going. We didn't know what we was doing. We were just passing the stick, hitting it, and just walking like hella slow. You know what I'm saying? And we ended up at Magnet's Quick Check, and I went up in there, and I was so whacked out. You know, I went up in there, and I got me some Wild Eyes rolls. You know, and I come outside, and I'm staring at the Connie Club, and I'm like, I should go over there and rob somebody.
The Cotton Club, that's the
Yeah, that was the club that was right across the street from McNair's Quick Check on Martin Luther King and Cary.
Gotcha. Okay.
Okay, it's so many people that got killed up there. I was raised in that club. When I used to rob people, I used to go up there and hide out, and the police didn't know because they never suspected a 13 or 14-year-old to be in a club.
So
the
at
old
this time,
Cotton
you
Club is
only-
we talking about the desert, right?
Yeah, the desert. It used to be a kind of dude that ran it. His name was Night Train.
Okay.
He raised me.
Gotcha.
You know, I grew up in there, man. That's where all the like Head Golden, the Macklemores, you know, everybody that had a name, they been in that club.
So at this time, how old are you?
What you mean when I was
When you threw the drink at
When
the
you
bar,
ready to
bitch.
when you ready to
I was
trip?
17. I was
Okay.
17 when I did this, man. And what happened was I was standing outside of McNair's and I was looking across the street and I see this female, right? And I look and bam, I threw it up, you know what I'm saying? And she threw up something and I was squinting. I'm like, what the hell she threw up at me? So I threw up my neighborhood again and she threw something up. I'm like, hey, let's cross the street, man.
Banging on you.
So we go over there, right? And the girl, when she see us coming, she go up in the country club. So we fall up in there too.
Was that a neutral site?
Nah, that was the Gerson Club. You know, you see some Vegas Heights dudes up in there. You see some BTDs, but you see more Gersons than that than anything. You
Cary
know,
MLK.
but the Donna Streets, you know, they even though their club is the Barcelona, you know, Silver the Nugget or something like that, they started coming to the Connie Club, and them was the homies back then, so we didn't care, you know. But I went up in there, and when I went up in there, the whole club was full of Donnas, right? So I'm like, first person I bump into, C-Wack, is a female, you know what I mean? Her name Carrie. And she could crib walk harder than Dub C. I swear to look. For real. She ask anybody about that girl can crib walk hard, man. So I go up in there, she say, "What up, crib?" And you know, right there, I hate that word. It made me cringe, you know, because I was anti-cripping, you know. So I'm like, "What's happening?" And I try to give her a K. She said, "Oh, double C's, no K's, cuz." Now this is something new the Donnas just started, you know, double C's, no K's. She said, "I'll give you a B," which would make me, you know, if I gave her a K, she gave me a B and me BK. But they used to give us C's.
Disrespectful.
God.
It's kind of creative,
Yeah,
but disrespectful.
So, you know,
my God.
now mind
My
you,
heart.
I just got into it with a down the street female.
Yeah.
So I was like, okay, I took the B, gave her the K, and then she go throw 2 big C's on my chest.
Oh, Jesus.
That's when
You
she
gotta
got,
punch her.
No, I just pie-faced her. I pie-faced her, and when I pie-faced her, Casio, he jumped in it. And, you know, me and him like brothers. We was. And we start like, you know, chill, man, what's up? You know, it was a bunch of pushing and shoving. It's only like 12 of us. It's about 50 Donalds up in here. You know, so now I'm really mad now. I done just got into it with the down the street girl in the brownies. I done got into it with you, and now ain't no squashing nothing.
Yeah.
I don't like this true shit anyway. You know what I'm saying? Tonight is gonna be the night I'm fucking all this shit up. You know what I'm saying? So I get into it with these dudes, and I'm not trying to be over animated. I'm telling you the truth, and you gonna see why. And I got into it with this big dude named Deuces. You know, I was talking so much trash up in there. I was disrespecting the Donnas, calling them Dookie Street, calling them Madonna Street, you know, just disrespecting them. And this dude said, "Hey, man, you can go on with that." I called him out.
Before or after the truth, would this ever happen? Before the truth, a bunch of Donnas being in the Cotton Club. Before the truth.
Yeah, they can come up there.
Okay.
They was with the Gersons. They can go anywhere they want to.
Okay.
The Gersons and the Donnas was cool. You had Gersons that stayed on Donna. You had Donnas that stayed on the Gersons. You finna see, watch. Okay. What happened was I got into it with this big old Donna Street dude. Looked like he just got out the joint. Man, look, I was about 130-some pounds, shrimped out and burnt out. This dude was about 240. I'm talking so much, you know, bull crap, I had to back it up. That dude called my bluff. Now I got to fight. I come up out my trench coat looking like a cancer patient. Look.
He was on that Sharon. He was strong as a mom.
Hey, look, my perm was barely hanging on. I was barely hanging on. Man, I ain't had no strength to fight nobody at this time, man. Okay. But I was talking so much trash, I had to back it up. This dude slammed me on every kind of parking lot. For real, man.
Damn.
Look, he just humiliated me. And then my homie sitting there blinking, watching it happen. Ain't nobody broke it up or nothing. He just did me in. So right then and there, you know, I couldn't whoop him physically. And my homeboys sat there and watched me get whooped because we cool with the Donnas. It's just 2 homies fighting according to them, but they didn't know, my feelings involved. This dude got my elbow swole. He slammed me on one car, picked me up and slammed me on the other car, and he just went down the line. And y'all let him.
God damn.
You know, so what happened was I left and I told everybody up there, I said, if y'all here when I come back, I'm killing all y'all. I told my homies that too, and they was like, you tripping. I'm like, I'm gonna show you I'm tripping, nigga. You know, so I left and I came back and wasn't nobody up there. And the bartender was trying to talk to me. He said, "Man, Night Train on his way up here, man. Sit down." He poured me a drink. I slapped it off the bar. I said, "Where them niggas at?" He said, I don't know where they go, man. Just sit down and have a drink. I said, man, I left out of there. I went to the Moulin Rouge. They wasn't up there. I went to Shades. They wasn't up there. I went by Chances Are. They wasn't up there. I went to all the clubs that we frequent, and they wasn't up there. And I was mad, and I was like, go on Donna. We went on Donna. I shot up Donna. I shot Donna up. We left Donna. We was coming back on the west side. We hit my Lake. We went to Cary. We drove up Cary. We hit Martin Luther King. We drove down Martin Luther King. We hit Lake Mead. When we hit Lake Mead, we was going back toward the Brownies, but we was like on the side of the Gerson. And when we get to Comstock, that same devil that I was telling y'all about, that I said I made myself a easy vessel. Well, he said, hey, it's time. And I just said, I'm telling you, I was shirmed out. I was mad. I just shot up Donna, and I rose up, and I said, hey, turn down the alley. See, I had knew that it was one of the Donna streets that stayed down there. And I was like, if they go hide from me, I'm going to make sure I'm crying, because I don't like what I'm talking about.
I understand.
So what happened was I went and carry on, the little carry arms.
Yeah.
And I went up these stairs. I knocked on this door, and this dude, his girl answered it. Make a long story short, I went up in there and I killed the Donna Street. That's what broke the truce of 9-2 in Las Vegas. That's what started the war with the Donna Street Crips and the Gerson. Me.
Wow.
Me.
And do you remember the Do you remember the day you were arrested?
I was arrested in 1992, in the 93. I did 20 years for that murder in prison straight, from the age of 17 to the age of 37.
Damn.
Because of me and what I did,
That truth.
a lot of people did.
Damn.
Wow.
It's a heavy weight to carry.
So
it's crazy hearing that, because like coming up, like you hear about the different, because I was gonna ask, like, so how did it become, if y'all was so cool, how did Gerson and Donna start beefing? And then because Gerson and, by the time I'm coming up, Gerson and West Coast is kind of cool.
oh man, that's because
It had switched around.
what happened was after the situation with me, you had the two biggest gangs in Las Vegas go to war, and it was like family. At first, it was hard. The Donna Streets tried to find common ground. They didn't want to go to war off top.
Right.
They came to the Gerson. This was when I was on the run. I was on the run, and it took them a minute to catch me. And they tried to talk, like basically what happened, what went wrong, what sheep at, man. We need to holler at him, man. I know he ain't, the homie got knocked down, man. What's happening? And the Gersons was basically like, we don't know. You know what I mean? We ain't seen them, man. And then some Donna Streets were emotional. They was like, man, F that, you know what I mean? And, words was exchanged. And, I have a relative that's a real known Gerson. And he said, if he did do it, then we going to war. And that, them words right there started the beef when the Donna Street said, okay, let's go. And you had these two big gang clashes, right? So what happened is when they arrest me, I go to jail. Now, the Gersons and the Donnas is at full-fledged war. We was the two first gangs that started back beefing. We used to be allies. So now we feuding. All right, now, what happened was the Pirus got into it with the Donnas. And one of the Donnas got knocked out, and one of the Pirus got killed. So now the Pirus in it. So it's the Donna Street versus the Gerson, and the Donna versus the Pirus. So you can see how the West Side and Northtown started to divide. Because after that you had, John Lee murder, you had the Do-Wrong murder. John Lee was from ABM and Do-Wrong was from NTG. So and it was Gersons that was suspected of doing that. So you can see how the North started to consolidate. But what happened was, what made Northtown versus West Side was the penitentiary. See, it was called Biscuits and Gravy. And that started because the California boys tried to take over the Nevada prisons, and the Bloods and the Gersons came together up in Northern Nevada Correctional Center when I got stabbed in the eye.
I heard you tell that story.
Yeah, I got stabbed in the eye in March 23rd, 1994. I got stabbed and I was pronounced dead. The Cali boys stabbed me in the eye. And then in 1995, I got stabbed in the head by the North. And up in there, that's when the West and the North consolidated, and it went to the streets. And when it went to the streets, that's how you had Northtown versus West Side. That's why you seen the Gersons and the West Coast Bloods cool, or the Gersons and the Pirus cool, because they went against Northtown.
Ivan, you had something? I know you had your hand up.
Oh no, because this is back when we were telling the story about how the truth got broke. I was just wondering, like, and this may be a silly question, a normal handshake wasn't just like suffice? Like, instead of, like,
no,
everybody trying to
banging,
figure out
bro.
which
You banging, you banging.
What do you mean by what do you mean
like
by
because you were saying, like, she was trying to give you one kind of shake, you were trying to give her another kind of shake.
threw up
Y'all
the
couldn't
seed.
just shake hands like normal people?
Nah, we weren't normal people. When you smoke sherm, when you kill people for a living, when you go in people's neighborhoods and you shoot indiscriminately, when you think that, guys that look like you but just wear a different color but grew up the same way as you, probably without their father, with a, in poverty, when you start, doing stuff like that, you're not normal. We was inflicted with a mental sickness. It's called menticide, man. Menticide is a destructive way of thinking that lead to the pathological behavior you see displayed in our communities, brother.
What do you mean inside? I've never heard that term before.
Yeah, I just told you, it's a destructive way of thinking that lead to the pathological behaviors you see displayed in our communities. When you think that a West Coast blood is your enemy, when that's just nothing but another little black boy that's going through the same thing you're going through. The projects is an experiment, man. Exactly, and I'm gonna tell you something. That's why I do what I do, because I'm not special. God left me here for a reason. He took all my childhood friends, man. I lost like 80% of my childhood friends, man. People say that Vegas is just about strip clubs and casino. I'm gonna tell you something, homie. I jumped off the porch in 1985. I seen the destruction that gang banging caused. I played a part in that, man. It's so much blood on my hands, man. God said you not going to hell. Hell ain't good enough for you right now, man. I went to prison and did 20 years. I started worshiping the devil in there. It was a bunch of us so-called gangbangers that hated ourselves to the point that we turned to Lucifer and became followers of Anton LaVey and the Satanic Church. So I was in there doing very disturbing things, man, until I found myself in a hole with 5 years, ashy, with nothing but my underwear and a Bible and a pen that bend, and my homies can get me out of there. That person I was praying to the 13th candle and all that stuff, the devil, he couldn't open the door. And that book I kept throwing and trying to kick up under my door, but I just couldn't get it up under there. It was called a Bible. I couldn't get it out my room. You know what I mean? So that right there, I decided to read it, and I decided to be receptive to something else, and that receptiveness to goodness, that receptiveness to compassion, that receptiveness to empathy, it had its place, and that's what healed me, and that's why I was able to defeat Lucifer. I was able to leave his ranks, and I was able to keep what I am, which is my sanity, my self-esteem, because I forgave myself for what I did. I can't go back and change, the past. I know what I've done, but at the same time, I can make it so, kids don't repeat the same mistake I did. That's my mission in life. Yeah. I don't think that, what's going on. These young brothers like him, they don't need to grow up and believe that going to the penitentiary is what validates them, or having bodies validate them. It's okay to have a degree. That's what validates you. Your female, your children. Your children is your greatest accomplishment. That's what validates you. And most importantly, your behavior. Can't a group of dudes never validate you, man? Yeah.
During your time in prison,
Nah.
how would you explain it? Because from what I'm hearing is the Gersons was the largest gang in Nevada, in the prison system.
And I don't hear about too many black men becoming Satanists.
Well, it's a bunch of them, and they don't like talking about it. It's things they don't like, talking about. But I was one of those dudes that I was an open Satanist. People knew me. They called me demon. So I didn't hide nothing I did. But my experience in prison was everything you would think. I done been in every race ride you can think of. I didn't watch dudes get their manhood took. It was dudes up in there that I done saved a lot of dudes. I made it so, you can't stay on the yard, homie, but you can go to another yard and be safe, because if you stay here, they go rape you. You know what I'm saying? So I made it so they can go other places. I done stopped a lot of dudes out here that's supposed to be reputables. I done stopped a bunch of them dudes from getting violated, because you can be a shooter on the street and be about that life, but when you go up in there, it's dudes that'll destroy you with a knife surgically. You got Hispanics, you got Islanders, you got natives, you got the Black Gorilla family, Cali boys, you got all kind of people in there, and some of them ain't going home. And the only reason why COs go home at night is because they allow them to. It's some dudes up there, man, that'll kill you and eat a sandwich right after they knock you down, homie. They don't care. It's some dudes up there, man, that'll be walking like Big Pretty.
I was about to say about Big Pretty.
Man.
That's
That's a
like
real
the
person.
biggest, like, I hear this name, and that's like,
Big Pretty is nice.
Man, a lot of dudes when you say his name, they cringe, and for good reason. And he used to have this term. He used to come down the hallway. He used to go, "Show me what you're working with." And you see dudes in the shower going, you know what I'm saying? Because they know Big P, he'll get you. He'll leave some donut.
A candy bar.
Man, if he leave a box of honey buns on your bed,
a wrap.
and you open them, you open them up. He don't want them honey buns back. You can't give him 1,000 if you open that up. Just like if they slide a kite under your door, if you go to Ely Max, you open that up, you win. So if somebody, so if somebody,
but does it say like from Big Pretty?
No.
nah,
you know.
he go come back after he see that you open them up, and he go tell you that was from him.
He's a different man when I met him, but it's definitely didn't hurt the story. And
So what if you don't open them? What if you be like,
Nah.
Then you
Ain't no
good.
option.
You give him back to him. He'll let you. Depend on who you is. He's pretty good at what he do. He don't mess with people that's from like big gangs.
I about to say, is he from a neighborhood?
Yeah.
Well, Big Pretty was a black warrior. Black warriors were is an offset.
Booty? Boy?
No, black warrior. No, you had Aryan warriors, and you had, cause see, the dominant power during them days was the white boys.
Okay.
They was killing blacks. This before Indian Springs was built. You had NSP, NNCC, and you had Gene. Them was the only prison in the state of Nevada. Okay, the white boys was running, especially up north.
What was y'all fish tank?
Our fish tank was in north. It was NSP, NNCC, and then Gene. Our fish tank was in NNCC, which is Northern Nevada Correctional Center in Carson City. That's the northern fish tank. The southern fish tank is High Desert State Prison, which is across the street from Indian Springs.
No, I know that it is now. But I'm saying when you went, what was the fish tank? Because that
When I
was the
went,
fish tank.
Indian Springs was the fish tank when I went in the southern. And up north, it's always been NNCC.
What's the difference
no,
between
I know
the
that
prison and the fish tank? What's the?
The fish tank ain't no love. You know, you in there for about 30, 40, anywhere from 30 days to 48 days, and no shower, shoes, no nothing. You got to get in the shower with
Every 3 days.
Yeah, with the plastic bags they give you. You know, you got to put that on your feet so it lets you go stand on that nasty floor. You know, but it's just you going through all the orientations, them seeing the doctor and all of those stuff, man. You just locked down 24
Fish tank
hours
is
a day.
where they decide where they gonna send you at.
Yeah.
Okay. So was you going in? So you get arrested. You go to. How long was you in jail before they transferred you?
About a year and something. Because I had a murder case, man. When you got one of them type of cases, you gonna be in there for a long time.
When does you going in there? Are the politics different from the outside? Outside and inside, how different are the gang politics?
Well, it depends on if it's racial wise. You know, the blacks basically, man, they more or less more relaxed. They don't pay paperwork check. You know what I mean? They come together. They more dominant because it's more of them. You know, you have big gangs. Yeah, it's a bunch of black gangs. So the blacks are dominant, but the most structured are the Serenos or the Southsiders. They don't allow. You know, like telling, they don't allow pedophilia, you know what I'm saying? They don't allow certain stuff in their car, you know, and they frown at the blacks because the blacks do. Because you can have a dude that come to prison and he can toll on somebody. And he could be like, say, for instance, a West Coast blood. And he come to the joint and, you know, you go have like other people that's gonna be like, that's on the coast. And the SAs, you look at them and be like, nah, he black. If he done this, he shouldn't be on the yard. Like if you got a high profile case that everybody know about, like if you beat your child and everybody know because your face was plastered on the TV every time you go to court so people know what you in prison for, and you go to prison and you got certain Hispanics be like, hey man, that dude in there for beating on his son, and they just let him walk the yard, Holmes. You know, so they frown up at blacks. The white boys are strung out mostly on meth, so they not like they used to be back in the days. They not strong like that, you know, but it's different in prison, man. You know, like you got the Northern Car, you got the Gersons, you got the Bloods, you got, you know, Cali, you got just different sectors, you know, and they all coexist, you know. It's not really turned up like that because the prison and cracked down and they control movement now.
But in your time, you going there. From what I know, I've been to the joint, but I know it's in y'all time, right? You going in there for a murder, and then you going in there for a murder against the Donnas, and you're from Gerson. So what's your walk? Your first 5 years in prison?
Oh, when I first went to the penitentiary, it was so intense. When I first hit the yard, it was so intense because even though I did what I did on the street, the Gersons in the Donna streets in prison were still getting along. You see, so when I hit the fish tank, they had to make a decision. And if I wouldn't have been who I was, maybe it would have been bad for me. But because of who I was, I'm not just anybody.
Right.
And when I hit the joint, people that were talking to each other stopped talking to each other. Because you had certain Donnas saying, we go woo when you hit the yard. And you had Gerson was like, I wish y'all would. You know what I'm saying?
So that's the separation. So you even separating the prisons and the streets at the same time.
Look, I'm gonna tell you what they did to me, man, and it's so foul because I'm gonna keep it so 100. My homeboys played my so-called. I don't bang. My so-called homeboys played a part in this. They decided, hey, look, because I was approached by Gangsta Lump and Big Woody, which is from the Gerson, and a few more. They came up to me and straight up told me, yeah, man, what you did on the street, man, we talked about that, man, and that's gonna stay on the street. And when we get out, if we run into each other, it's gonna be what it's gonna be. But up here, niggas get along, man, and we ain't finna let what you did, come in between us. So make a long story short, somebody dropped the kite on me and got me shipped off the yard. So they could keep the peace on that yard.
Wow.
So I went up north, and I went on the yard up north 3 months before I got stabbed, and that was behind the Cali boys, and that's when my journey began.
I heard that story.
Yeah.
Up north is different.
When one of your stories, you said that you were in a room with a person that was charged for rape, and you beat him with a cane.
Oh, E.T.?
Yeah.
I bust his head. Well, it was really over some peace drink, you know what I'm saying? And he told me that if his peace drink came up missing, I was going to come up missing. And he had this big wooden cane that he used to use, and I split his wig. I bust his head open up in there, man, and whooped him out over that, man. And, I did a bunch of things. I stabbed people, I got stabbed. No, I did that in Indian Springs.
You know how to make pruno?
Yeah, I know how to make pruno.
I just be one of these questions, like, cause
Man, what else you want to know? I know how to
If you
make
don't,
gloves.
if you don't answer the question,
Look.
stop putting your hand up, man.
Yeah, I'm gonna tell you something. I know how to make pruno. I know how to take. Give me some what's them plastic forks, some sporks. Give me a whole bunch of sporks. Give me some Blue Magic. Give me some toilet paper and give me some matches, and I'll make a knife in your face.
Yeah.
Wow.
damn.
I've seen it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Shit, that was powerful. I forgot what I was.
Start talking, nigga. He can't see
Yeah,
your
that
hand.
shit. He said, "I'm fucking not." Hey.
Damn.
That knife came out of nowhere. Fuck it. I'll redirect. What's your best spread? You talking prison talk? What's your best spread? Like if it's Thanksgiving or it's Christmas, I'm like I'm finna put my foot in this. What's going in your spread?
Oh, you got to get the Doritos, right? You get the Doritos, you get your meat chub, you get your squeezed cheese, you get your jalapeno wheels, you get your red beans and rice, the Velveeta ones.
Facts.
Yeah, and you whip that up, you know what I'm saying, and you get you the banquet chicken. You got to get that. Don't none of them go right. If you don't get the banquet chicken, get you the banquet chicken, man. Get you the tortilla rolls, and you whip all that up. You know what I'm saying? Mix that up, put it in the microwave, let it blow up, do your thing. Make you some burritos, and there you go right there. I don't never do nothing special. I eat to where I can fight. I can eat that and get out at the same time. I eat on the go, because I was real institutionalized.
Doritos over Cheetos, man.
Yeah, everybody got their way of doing things, man. But when you being in the joint, as long as me, I was really institutionalized. I didn't think I was getting out. You know what I'm saying? So I was messed up in the head, man.
How did? I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Contact with your family while you were in prison. Did you feel like you lost it and they just forgot about you?
Yeah, I got so embedded up in prison culture, and that talking to my family didn't serve me no purpose no more. I didn't think I was gonna ever see them again. I didn't think I was gonna live in prison. I got stabbed in the eye. I got stabbed in the head. I was suffering from anxiety. Yeah. I didn't trust nobody. My homeboys ran and left. I ain't gonna say they ran and left. But people know how to, let me put it this way. If you ever get in a gang and it really gets serious, you go realize that a bunch of your homeboys know magic. They know how to disappear.
No, for real.
For real. And that's what happened. That's what happened to me on 2 occasions. And it almost cost me my life. On one point, it did. I was pronounced dead, and a captain took my pulse, and he realized I still had a slight pulse. But they threw the sheet over me and everything. I was laying in the gurney, for an hour in the infirmary with dried up, throw up on my face and everything from being stabbed in the eye.
Do you remember that, or is it kind of like?
I was going into shock. I was going in and out of consciousness. When I wake up, I get to shaking and stuff like that, and I go back out. I got stabbed way back here. I stabbed with an ice pick, man, and it was almost an inch from going into my chamber, man. We was really playing for keeps up there, and I gotta wake up every morning and I gotta look at that. And God said, yeah. He said, see, now that's the deal. He say, see, I'm going to let you keep that. You know, see, so I'm going to take your sight so you can see better. So you think these dudes your homeboy, and you're around here worshiping that serpent, that belt that I cursed to crawl at the hills of man. See, you running around there doing all that. But I'm going to tell you something. When you get tired of doing that right there, man, come holler at me. You know what I'm saying? And God is the only person that never left me. And he waited on me. And when I went and I hollered at God, I said, how can I fix this? He said, well, you sorry for what you did? I said, yeah. He said, no, you ain't. He said, you'll know when you are. I ain't know what he meant by that. I had to figure it out, and I did.
As civilians, right? We always like joke about it. We've had a few times to hear about individuals continuously going to prison, come home for a few days, go a few months, and then go back to prison. For someone that's been in there for 20 years, do you have a better understanding of why?
Yeah.
Individuals keep returning, and why is that?
It's because when you join a gang, man, when you sign up for this and you play a certain character for so long and you forget who you really are. I got caught up in being demon and all these names these people told me. I didn't know how to be what my mama named me and what she brought me up to be, which is a normal child. I didn't know who Terrell was. What the hell is Terrell? Who the hell is Terrell? I didn't know that, I'm a funny dude. I'm a very intelligent dude. I'm loked out. Come get some, want some, come get some. Bad enough, come take some. That's what I was on. And I didn't know that, that's not you, bruh. You actually a nerd, man, if you just want to keep it real. See, that's what God told me, you'll figure it out. And that's when I start accepting me for who I am. I start embracing myself, with all my faults and my failures. I learned that, life and being a human, you're going to come with pluses and minuses. It's the ones you focus on that matter. So what I started doing is focus on my pluses. You intelligent. So I started embracing that. I started reading books. And when I started reading books, it started changing my perception of reality. I started seeing my homies for who they really were. And if you listen real closely, when you start being receptive to reality, you'll start hearing the hisses. Hey, what's up, homie? Hey, I love you, homie. Hey, man, you doing good, homie. See, they was pat me on the back, but see, I came into the realization, I know why y'all pat me on the back. You looking for a soft spot to stick the knife in. Touche. Touche. So I start accepting me and I don't need homeboys. I start figuring it out. And things start working out for me. I started going to my enemies and I started talking to them. And then I realized something. Why we hate each other? I know what I did was messed up, man. I can't fix it, but you went here for something too like I done. You didn't knock down such and such from who. So, how can we fix this, man? How can we turn this around? Because now your son up in here, man, and he calling himself Lil You and your grandchildren. How can we stop the cycle of recidivism, man? And God told me, I'm going to use you, man. I'm going to let you see all your homeboys die. I'm going to tell you something. If you know how to read the book of life, he'll show you something cold. You had individuals in this game that was known for robbing people, messing people out they dope. Yeah, front me something, homie. And when you come back to get your money, I'm going to tell you the dope ain't no good, and that's on me. Okay, this person here, you know how he ended up dead? In a pea stall in his hand. You see, God will show you. My homie Cornbread, he was known for jacking, taking stuff. He was known for taking datings. But God, he was a womanizer too. So what God do, he had a woman set him up, lured him out. He was crippled. He couldn't even run. They knocked him down. I had a homie that was a bully. He was, if you didn't get it from him, you weren't getting it from nobody. He'll rip your pockets off. He died choking on his own blood. You know what I'm saying? And his base head standing over trying to unhook his jewelry. All kind of stuff, man. Just like a Donald Goins book. God will show you just as hard as you live, that's as hard as you go die, boy. And I'm gonna let you watch all your homeboys die. But I'm gonna leave you here so you can tell this message.
So, I got your dad started basically is the foundation of Vegas gangs.
No.
Your dad get kicked out of Vegas. You said 79. Mm-hmm. What's you and your father relationship?
My father passed away, and when I was first born, my daddy had me for the first 4 years of my life. He was all I know. He used to put me on his neck. He had a blue Malibu. He used to drag race because the Associates was a car club. Yeah. And I was around the Associates, and I'm not gonna lie. They blew angel dust in my face, and they used to throw me up in the air. That's what I mean by I was born in it. Right. So all this homeboy, that's why. So I drag race with it. with him, and all I remember, I got a scar on my head from when they kicked in the door looking for him. They bust my head wide open, and he came out. He beat up all the police, him, my aunties, my grandmama. They had my grandma out there scrapping. You know what I'm saying? I was on the floor leaking. So I grew up in it, you know, and he was all I knew. And I'm going to tell you something. I'm also a WIC baby. And the WIC, it was started by my girl grandma, Miss the great Ruby Duncan.
Wow.
That's my girl grandma. Yeah, and you know she shut down Caesar's Palace. So when people tell you that Vegas don't have no culture, yeah, shame on them. But we have a beautiful culture, man, and it stretches long back. It's one of resistance, one of resilience, one of redemption. You know, we have powerful people, women that went down there and shut the strip down. Whoever done that? During the Rodney King riots, we couldn't even do that, but some females went down there and shut that down and got Las Vegas, which was the last state, Nevada, which was the last state to have the WIC program. Her grandma met with Reagan, Secretary of Labor, and all that to get us the Gerber and all the stuff that we had. So I was a WIC baby. What happened with my father is that when the WIC program got started, I think in 1979, they took me from him. I remember when they came in Vegas Heights, Circle Park, they surrounded the park when he was pushing me on a swing. I'll never forget this because he was all I knew. That was my hero. I watched him knock. You know, I went to some of his fights in Doolittle, Vegas Heights, Valley View, them parks. That's where he used to go have all his fights. Because in Vegas back then, if you was somebody, y'all met up and y'all fought. That's how you gain your reputation. So I went with him on that. And when they surrounded that park and they came and took him, all I remember is going with my grandma and I was screaming. And they was handcuffing him. He was shermed out. He didn't even know what was happening. He was just pushing me on the swing. And I never seen him again until like, shit. My grandma took me out there one time, but I never really had no contact with him.
Damn.
Yeah, so I grew up in the streets. You know, my homeboys that knew my father and respected him became father figures to me. So that's why I was hanging out with people like Cornbread when I was 12 years old.
You brought it up a few times. The two young ladies, the two ladies that you got into it with on the day of your situation, the legendary Ruby Duncan, even though she's not has nothing to do with this. But my question to you is, because it's not talked about a lot, the female or woman influence in gangbanging.
One of the most treacherous females, my aunties, Barbara Ann Shepherd, Pokey, all my aunties, my daddy's sisters, they were known legends. The females aspect of gangbanging has been just, I'm not gonna say as important as dudes, but you had a lot of females, like from Herbert Gerson, you had females like Tony Girl. Tony Girl was probably one of the hardest female gangbangers that ever existed. I mean, her name represented itself. Her name was Tony Girl. She was the leader of the GPAs. They was a baseball team, but they was also a gangbanger. They was from the Gerson, and they was known for going to bars with bats and cleats on and whooping everything out in there. You know, so but then you had people like you go in Paru turf. You got Tanya Washington. You got Lil Rab up over there. You had some beasts come up out of Madison Terrace, and you had Coletta them, Fat Dad sister them up over there in Playboy turf. You had Big Vanna. You had Cam and all them from West Coast Blood. Tanya Green, all them. Donna Street. You had K Rock, Karen, Goldie. You had Lil Halisa. You had C-Wack. In the hood you had Infrared. You had 380. You had Romanetta. You know what I mean? Everybody in 6 shows. You had DK, you had Baby Blue, you had Brianna, you had Ion. You had some stumped down females that'll bust that thing and beat the brakes off you. Especially Tanya Washington. They call her the dude with boobs. So hey, look, so she got handlebars, she got hands, and she didn't punch some of my homeboys curl sideways. You know, we had to jump. I told her she would never get no fair face from me. Ain't no way. I couldn't take them type of chances. You know what I'm saying? For real.
When from your point of view, how did women adjust to it going from hands to pistol play?
Some of them is the reason why some dudes got beat up so bad by some females they had to go do some pistol play for real. But I'm gonna be honest with you, man. Pistol playing changed the game because a lot of females had sons. Females that used to be in the gang, a lot of them, when we started killing each other, the way we started killing each other, I'm gonna be honest with you, it was PCP. Wasn't no pills, wasn't no lean, wasn't no meth, wasn't no none of that stuff. It was weed, sherm, and liquor. Now, you had OGs that snuck and did dog food, but didn't nobody know nothing about that.
What is dog
Heroin.
food?
Heroin, smack, that brown stinky stuff. So that when but we didn't have, water didn't take over like that. When that Sherm took over and people start, going in that world, man, that's when things got out of hand, and a lot of females backed up because a lot of females lost their brothers, they lost their sons, they lost their baby daddies, they suffered a lot, and they still suffer. And I'm gonna tell you, the Gerson have done so much dirt in his days that everything, I'm gonna tell you something, as above, so below. The karma is the only thing in life that doesn't discriminate. And what the Gerson is going through is karma. If you look at Martin Luther King and Kerry, it's so many people that then died on that street alone. During the Gerson 60 war, 26 people died in that vicinity alone. 26 between the Gersons in the 60s. But you seen Gersons getting hit by cars on Martin Luther King and Kerry. Lil Dirtwag just got, rest in peace, he just got hit by a car. Manny Schwack got killed by the police, right by Martin Luther King's statue. Dig that. Got shot up, man. And his mama was in Crip City. Carry Army's a plot. They could have went over there and got his mama. Said, your son over here on something tripping. Come get him. But instead, they called the police. And he gone. So that's what the women going through.
Facts. Wow. Facts. So, do you have any children?
Yeah, I got a son.
Within all the shit you've been through, how did that, raising your son, what was the coaching point?
Man,
how you coach your son through this thing called life?
Oh, that's easy, man. Being there, teaching them, talking to them, getting to know them, actually being invested, correcting them from a man's perspective. That's our job. See, that's what's missing. That's why young black boys want to be women, because it's women that's raising them. Pac already told you it ain't easy for a woman to raise a man. For that child to have balance, he needs a father figure. You see, and a father figure really is the first form of authority your son gonna know of, man. And if you want your son to respect authority, then you must teach him how to first respect himself and then respect you. And when your son step out of line, because when your son get old, he gonna become too big for the mother to discipline. So you got to always keep your foot on his neck, and you know what I mean by that.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And to hell with these white people saying, don't whoop your kid. Now, I'm not trying to be racist, but I'm saying don't tell me how to raise my tribe. If my son step out of line, I'm from the old school, meaning I'm up on the old rules, and if it come to it, I'm an old fool. And I'll beat my son ASS if he get out of line, straight up, because that's what worked with me. That's what I understood growing up. And the reason why children act the way they act is because they don't respect authority. And that's why our children find themselves in situations when they're on the cot. If you let me tell you something, man. I done got caught pulling on 3 occasions by Metro. 2 times by Metro, 1 time by North Las Vegas. They called me under the influence, throwing guns, and they could have splattered me, but they didn't. One thing about the police, man, we got to stop blaming them for stuff that we know is self-inflicted. If I'm a law enforcement, I'm not saying they all good. I'm saying this here, man. We got to look at ourselves and understand why they acting like that. If I'm a police officer, and I'm saying hypothetically. Yeah. I'm not pro this and anti this. I'm just saying, if I'm a police officer and I'm working in a neighborhood and I see how they blow each other heads off, and I got to go over here and tell the mama, hey, we over here picking your son up with tweezers, mom, ma'am, I'm sorry, and she's stealing on me like I did it, and I want to go home at night. I see how y'all kill each other and then just go on like it ain't nothing. So when I deal with you, I'm going to be a little bit quick on the trigger. Because I don't want to be, but I see how y'all act. Y'all blew a deacon head off just the other day, man, shooting at one another, man. Y'all up there at the Barcelona just tearing it up. Y'all just let off 84 rounds at Shays and killed such and such and shot such and such. So when the police see this carnage, it makes them react a certain way. So we got to check ourselves, man. We got to look within, because that's where we bleeding from. Everybody want to fix this problem, but they want to stitch it up from the outside when you bleeding eternally.
You gotta go within and fix the bleeding eternally because just because you stitch the wound on the outside, you still go die. We still dying. You have Black Lives Matter, hands up, I can't breathe, every other type of movement you can think of, and they all benefited from it monetarily, but the bloodshed and the killing of young brown and black boys still continue. Why? Because y'all still following leaders with perms. You, for real.
Still following leaders.
Yeah, these old shucking and jiving, street corner ass, false prophet, preach ass. These dudes, look, man, if you want to fix what's going on with us, we gonna have to turn and confront us. People want to boycott Charleston White. I don't agree with a lot of stuff he say, but the truth hurt. It do, and a lot of stuff he says is truth. A black man's worst enemy is another black man. And until we fix that, until we stop looking at each other as enemies, it's gonna always hinder us. We are our own worst enemies, man. And y'all know it. You can look on these damn platforms and see OGs with gray nose heads saying, pull up, nigga, on Paru. Nigga, pull up on Paru. Nigga, I'll put a bag on your head. Come on, man. You got youngsters looking at that.
Facts.
So when you go with them, you say, hey, youngster, we gonna have peace today. Them youngsters gonna be like, they paying you. They not paying us. They paying you to keep me in. We not doing it. See, now you have youngsters saying we ain't got no big homies.
Yeah.
You know, so that's the state of affairs we in now. And I'm out here giving my life story and speaking to my lips turn white, trying to fix this, man.
When did gangbanging start to change for you? The mindset of people in it, from how you grew up to now.
When everybody realized that, when I was in a joint, it was this Donner Street guy by the name of Dante Williams. They call him Tater Chips. Dante Williams was the first Donner Street to ever go to Elko, and that really changed a lot because when Donna came out, they was ferocious, like I said, but he was the first Donna to ever go to Elko, and he ended up in prison for a murder. And we was in prison for so long, and we was at each other's throat. But one day we was working in the kitchen, and I remember he was flipping pancakes. We had been down about 13 years, and he was flipping pancakes one day. And I looked up at him, man, and he gave me this look like, I'm so tired of this. He had to look like, I'm ready to go home, man. That looked like, I'm sick. And, we never talked to each other. We just started back talking, and he used to tell me, he said, man, I'm so tired of this, man. He said, man, all the motherfucker doing is losing his homeboys, man. Look at that. And we started thinking about everybody that was dead, and it's messed up because not too long he got out. And I was so proud of him because he got out like a year and a half. But you know what he did? He realized things wasn't the same when he got out. Donna wasn't so vibrant. It wasn't so vibrant. Everybody was whacked out on powder, pills, and all this other stuff that wasn't there when he left. And it wasn't the same, so he got sucked back into what he used to do. I told you, those demons, when you don't fight them, they'll come back. They very patient. They'll come back. And what he did is he succumbed to his demon because that Sherm said, hey, you remember me? And he was like, yeah. And he was like, let's get out. He was like, yeah, because the homies is gone. And he did, and they found him in his house 3 days later dead. Jesus.
Damn.
Yeah.
Did you have the same mindset when you was released about how different things looked or were? Or
what broke me is when they took me to the, when I got out, Carry Arms was still up. And it was basically empty, and the police used to use it to train. And I used to go over there, and what broke me is when they took me to the spot where they killed Cornbread. And when I went there, and they was like, hey, look, there go the bullet holes where they missed him, and they stood right where his body was. And this is the guy that mentored me since I was 12 years old. I was jacking people for datings. We was kicking in, dope houses, and we was going to war with the big 6-0s. And I was a young dude, but I had a name, And this was the dude that I was running with, and I was standing on the spot where he was knocked down, and that broke me, man. I just couldn't go on. It was over with. It was like there's no need for me to even be around this no more. It's just too painful. And then when you go on 40 block, it was just bodies. You standing in different spots. And after the 5th body, I was done. I was done. I was in Cadillac Orange when my partner Sonny got killed. I went on 40 block when so many people died over there, man. I went so many places where this was such and such got knocked down. This was my cousin Freak Dog died in Vegas Heights. It was dried up blood on a mailbox. He got
shit. Yeah, that gotta be hard.
Man, it's
But speaking to you, I think you're one of the first people that said, like, even when you talking on the story, you was like, I was hurt, like I was embarrassed, I was hurt. Most people don't say that. Most people just like, man, I'm a gangster. You ain't finna, you know what I'm saying? Like they don't say the actual words of how they actually felt in the moment. You spoke on exactly how you felt in every moment. Simply playing cards, like she whooping my ass, I'm hurt. Like it was never like it wasn't like to say it in a gangster way or nothing. You just like, this is how I was really feeling.
Man, I'm gonna tell you something, man. I don't know what people tell y'all, but I was really in them streets, man. People know me. I don't gotta say nothing. They'll tell you.
Right.
And when it come to, if you ask any down the street, you know, who's the top 10 most hated people, I'm gonna be in that list. Easy. There's a bunch of gangs that's gonna tell you I can't stand who I used to be. I had to deal with that individual. I had to destroy that individual. You know, but I'm gonna tell you something, man. The most gangstest thing I ever did was get out of a gang. It's not easy. It's not. Because you gonna have people, you know, when I talk about stuff, I got phone calls with dudes say, what we did was that was sentimental to me, man. That was sentimental to me, man. Why you speak on that, man? And I'm like this here, man. Dude, we gotta let go. What the? And then I feel kind of strange with you calling me saying what we had is sentimental. That don't sound right talking to another man, you know. And I be like, and I'm like, I'm on something else. I'm like, dude, look, this is my life, man. When I was in the penitentiary, didn't no homeboys. You know what? If y'all looking, didn't one of y'all come to my damn parole board and say let that man go? You didn't come to the hospital. Neither time I got stabbed, but you came and got me. You did that. You never sent me no money when you got out, but you came back and you gave me excuses on why you didn't, and then in the same breath you asked me for 2 soups. Yeah. So to my homeboys, you know, look, man, I love me, and that's been my whole problem, my whole life. I loved y'all. I put y'all before me. That's how I ended up in the penitentiary. That's how I ended up strung out on Sherm. That's how I ended up with the reputation I got, is because I loved y'all so much, man. I was willing to go to the penitentiary. I was willing to go to the grave for y'all. But I now love myself, you see? And I'm willing to go to the grave, a penitentiary, behind saving these youngsters. Now, you can look at me and say, sheep that went soft. That's cool. Checkmate. My thing is, I grew up. See, some people get old, and then some people grow up. I decided to grow up, and I'm going to use what God let me stay here and keep to teach, which is my past. And he keep reminding me of it every night I go to sleep. I still see the faces of my victims. You ever seen a person stare when you got a .357 pointed at them, and your eyes is just bloodshot red, and you full of whatever you full of? And you don't care if he got what you want. You just want to hurt him in the end. But you look at that person's face and you see the fear on their face. Or the person that I knocked down, to stare on his face. Because when I did my crime, I fought that man. When I walked up, and I'm just telling you the truth, I fought him. Me and him fought over the gun. And he wasn't trying to die. I'm going to tell you something, man. And I still see the fear in his eyes. And I'm going to see it for the rest of my life. I see it with my mind.
So, do you feel like that maybe that's God's way of punishing you?
Oh, it's not a punishment. It's called accepting responsibility. Never forgetting
accountability.
Never forgetting what you've done. It's a constant reminder, like my eye. You see? Sometimes, in order to gain something, you must lose something. You know, and I lost my eye, you know, all that to gain insight. See, I lost a foresight, but I gained insight. You see? And that's what me and God at in here. I look with my third eye. And that's why I know what I'm doing is cool. That's why I was able to break that so-called code and the influence that the street had over me. And that's how these youngsters have. They have to understand. They have to think, allow their mind to develop and understand that the only thing in life that can validate you is you. Martin Luther King told you that. And that's one thing I agree with him on. A person should not be judged by the color of their skin, but by the content of their character. Your behavior is what defines you. And the most noblest people that's ever known are the people that help other people. And that's what we need in our communities. We don't need no more rappers. because they got the life expectancies of a dog. We don't need no more rappers.
Facts.
Thank God.
All right, we don't need no more, none of that. What we need is more ideas, thinkers. That's what made us who we are. That's how we came out of bondage. It's because we came forth with ideas. And when we stop coming forth with ideas, that's when we stop excelling as a people. And that's what we need to do. We need to come back into sync with ourselves first by respecting the one that held us down in our worst experience, which is the black woman. She held us down when we was at our weakness. The black woman, if you think about it, is the backbone of the civil rights movement. They put Martin Luther King face up there, but they don't really talk about Fannie Lou Hamer, the Democratic Freedom Riders. See, she went up against Bull Connors. See, that woman right there was powerful. She the one that coined the term, I'm sick and tired of being sick and tired. See, it's the women. And they have the most powerful intuition on this earth, and until we do right by them, we not gonna ever do right. And we not gonna do right by them by imitating them. So all these cats walking around here with tank tops on that go, look, youngster, if your tank top go above your neighbor, that's a halter top, youngster. Take that off, man. Take your sister pants off. Take off that stuff you putting in your dreads, man, and grow a backbone, man. You can never be a woman. That's God's feminine half. You can never be that. You produce testosterone, not estrogen. Wake up.
Women are the backbone of our community, but do you think we have the same caliber of women this day and age that we did back in those days?
We don't have the same caliber of nothing. Even the food ain't the same caliber it is. Look, is football the same caliber? Name me 5 wide receivers. Okay, we gonna move on. Cause all right, name me 5 good boxers. For real, we gonna move on. Name me 5 basketball players, centers.
Embiid.
Yeah, we gonna move on from that. Yeah, see, don't nothing matter no more. Don't nothing matter no more. Basketball ain't what it used to be. Movies ain't what it used to be. The cereal ain't what it used to be. Water ain't what it used to be. Nothing. The air, the pigeons, they mechanical, ain't nothing what it used to be. So the same quality of women that we have a worse quality of men. So while we point out the black woman faults, we have to understand it was an agenda set forth. Just like the agenda operation destroy the black community with Eazy-E. See, I come from the era when we was doing the Brass Monkey. See, we was out there doing the Brass Monkey trying to be like LL Cool J, wearing Kangos, Bally's, fake ass Turkishes, white gold Turkishes, talking about what's happening, or yo, you know what I'm saying, doing all that beatboxing and all that stuff. And then all of a sudden we heard, I don't drink Brass Monkey, like to get funky, nickname Eazy-E, yo, what the hell is that? Then we started putting on Lokes and Raiders hats, and I don't even like the Raiders. And we started putting on Pendletons and khaki suits and stuff like that, posing in the G stands, you know what I'm saying, throwing up gang signs and stuff. So everything switched. We used to be brothers, then we became niggas. You see what I'm saying? We used to be telling fight the power, then we became down with Dre with the AK. See, women was our sisters. They was queens. Then it became BITCHs. See, that's what happened. It was an agenda set forth because one of the most powerful things that black people possess is music. That's what held us down during cattle slavery. We come from different tribes. Bantu, Wolof, Ashanti, Yoruba. We come from all different tribes. We didn't know the same language, but we knew music. We just go jump up and down and stuff like that. You see? But music transcends when they used to hang us, like in Birmingham, Alabama, when they bombed that church and they killed those 4 little black girls. They were so emotional over there. They wanted to ride. But what did they do? They couldn't go nothing but to church, and they sung their hearts out. That's why our churches be rocking. You see, because at one point in time, we couldn't pick up no gun. The president of the United States called us the N-word. The governors called us the N-word. We didn't have no rights. So all we can do is go to church and sing. We had spirituality in our music. We walked arm in arm on Selma and all over. And we sung, keep your eyes on the prize, oh Lord. Our music transcended. And then the devil, he looked at it, he said, you know what? I didn't hit these motherfuckers I didn't hung them. I didn't cook them. I didn't throw them overboard. I didn't done everything. I didn't do to these motherfuckers. And they still trying to come together and shit. What can I do to break? Then he realized it's that goddamn music.
Eating the dogs.
You see, it's like that's what keep them so goddamn okay. And the devil is the master when it come to music. So what did they do? They used our music to corrupt us. Think about it. It ain't been that much destruction since, look, they came out with gangster rap. We used to be called hip-hop. Hip-hop come from that term Curtis Blow used to go, a hip hop, a hippie to the hippie to hip hop. That's where hip hop come from. But when Eazy-E came out, they had to form a new genre, and they called it gangster rap. And when gangster rap came out, that's what destroyed our communities, because we started drinking cheap old English beer. We started having fully automatic weapons, and we started spraying up everything. We broke our like, if you go in our communities, we brought the property value down, and we made it so people didn't want to come over there and invest. We spray painted the walls up where nobody's safe. We sold crack. We destroyed everything, man. But it was an agenda.
Preach. That's great. Okay, so would you making a decision to, like a conscious decision to say, I'm going to walk away, I'm going to step away from this lifestyle, was there any concern, like maybe my safety may be in jeopardy?
Listen, when I was gang banging, my safety was probably in more jeopardy than it had ever been, because I was a known gang banger. So when I was on the streets, I was in more danger than anything. So now that I done turned my back, you think I'm scared of who am I supposed to be scared of? I was the boogeyman. Who am I supposed to be scared of? What? Who? I'm Little Sheepdog's son. Who I'm supposed to be scared of? Who go come and check me? For real. I'm not saying I'm a big bad wolf or nothing like that, but in this game right here that we used to play, boy, please. Ain't nobody gonna come check me, man. I don't feel nothing but failure, homie. And I'm not trying to sit up here and talk like I'm tough or nothing, man, but people know me and people know what I stand on, and I've been doing this. Yeah. For real, man, and I stand for this because I believe youngsters like him, they worth it. In the same way I push the line to go against my people, I push the line to save my people. And if you don't like it, get out the way, because you can't stop me. You couldn't stop me from walking away from the game. I ain't have to ask nobody for permission. Say, hey, homie, I'm looking for a way out, man. Can I you got me bent. I'm gone. For real, and I don't care how they feel about it. And ain't nobody go jump me off neither. Ain't nobody jump me in. And I say what I want to say, and I say it in their face. This stuff is fictitious. Ain't no such thing as no homeboys. Youngsters, stay away from gangs, go to school, man. It's all right to be a L7, to be a square. When you a square, that simply means you standing on understanding. For real, be a square, because if I can go back in the days, I'll be a square.
Well, do this message that you have for the youth now. Did you have this message prior to leaving prison? Because they coming in 16, 17 around that time. I know a lot of people in Vegas it was a lot of kids being tried as adults, doing more time in the 90s, early 2000s, getting way more time than they deserve. I have 2 cousins that did 16 years for the first crime they ever committed with no gang background. Was the message to them too?
Oh yeah, the message
before they get out, like
yeah, the message was for everybody, man. I mean, you got to understand. Let's talk about it, man. The 13th Amendment of the Constitution. Let me say something. Yeah. The 13th, the 14th, and the 15th Amendment of the Constitution. The 13th Amendment says slavery abolished, but at the bottom of it, and they did this on purpose, but at the bottom of that, it's real small. It says, unless it is used as a punishment to a person convicted of a crime. That's the 13th Amendment. Slavery is abolished unless it is used as a punishment to a person convicted of a crime. Mm-hmm. And you wonder why so many little black boys, you wonder why they can put a chain around your neck over there in the South and call it the chain gang. And the blacks, they filed a lawsuit and say, man, they did that to our ancestors, man. No, man, they got to do with slavery. And the Supreme Court pointed it to them. No, it's constitutional. See, it says slavery abolished unless it is used as a punishment to a person convicted of a crime. So when you go into an institution, you can, let's just say, welcome to slavery.
Right.
Now you see what's going on. Yeah. Okay, now our job is to divert that, because, see, a lot of our kids are going to prison and they're being educated like me. I went to prison and I went to college. Ain't that something? I could have did that on the street. But no, I wanted to go to school and fight. I got kicked out of Garside. I got kicked out of Belzar. And it wasn't because the Ku Klux Klan was over there saying, no, you better not come up here. It was because I went up there and I wanted to fight 60s. I wanted to be disruptive. I took guns to school. I did that. You see? So I'll put myself in that position, and we have to teach youth that one of the first things of being a man is accepting responsibility. It's okay to be sorry if you make a mistake. That's the only, see, mistakes are the greatest teachers in life. You know, mistakes don't define you, they teach you. And as long as you continue to learn, you are cool, because a learned man is a dead man. So as long as you continue to learn, That's what God wants. It's okay to fall down. You might be dusty. You might have a scrape on your knee when you fall. But see, the most important thing is that you can still walk. So when you make a mistake, don't let it define you. Use it as a means like lifting weights. You might go for 315 on the bench and you might domino. But that's not going to define your weightlifting. That's not going to define you. So you're going to come back one day and one day you go hit it. You see, that's what mistakes do. They teach us. So we have to let youngsters know it's okay if you take a test and fail. You know? What did that failure take you? Go back over and you do it again. Let's start teaching our children that, man. It's okay if you lose a fight. See, it's okay. That's how you learn how to fight, by losing fights. Michael Jordan said the only reason why he succeeded is because he failed. And he became great. And youth like him, they need to know that. Man, you don't got to pick up no gun to go out there and get your respect, man. Listen, homie, this right here is what define you. Right here, what you think. Because what you think is 9 times out of 10 what you go do with your hands. And what you do with your hands is what you going to be known for when you leave. You going to be a builder or you going to be a destroyer. But you going to have these thoughts, right? And your thoughts are going to just be that until you bring them into manifestation with these. And what did God make you out of? These. He made you out of clay and he molded you into the image of himself and he breathed life into you. So are you going to be a creator? What are you going to be? And you don't need no gun to do that. No, man. Play chess, not checkers. This is checkers. When you can whoop a person with your mind, Napoleon Bonaparte said, the greatest battles are won when not a lick of blood has been shed. Now, when you can beat a person like that, that's when you're playing chess.
Oh, you preaching on this good son.
Yeah.
Oh, shit.
Do you, as a father, does it ever, does it make you fearful that maybe your son sees your legacy and maybe you want to follow your footsteps regardless of what you're telling him?
Not at all, because he don't even know what a Gerson is. He don't know what I was. He don't know none of that. And you know why? Because I'm not that. When you let that go, your energy, we are all vibrations, energy. And if you're receptive to that, you know, we all look. This day and age that we know is on its way out. We're entering a 4th level of consciousness. That's another story. But my thing is, man, what I bring is my energy. And I know where I come from. I know what I used to be. But that's not who I am no more. You know, so when I come, I'm serious. I'm focused, and I have a mission. And what my son is going to learn is that, you know, my father looked like he'd been through a lot. You know, I mean, something wrong with his damn eye, but he pretty sharp. He all right, you know, because I want him to know that it's okay to be a nerd. Whatever you like, if you dance corny, hey, be the corniest dancer you can be. If you like whatever you like, embrace yourself, man. Don't let what society deem normal define you, because normally what society deem normal is unnormal.
Nerds rule the world. They always will, man.
Absolutely.
In our community right now, there's this thing about snitching.
Okay.
It's usually made as a black and white issue, right? Mm-hmm. In your experience, how easy is it to turn someone into an informant?
That laugh was diabolical.
Yeah, you know, look, man, I done been told on so many times, man. I mean, it's very easy, man. I mean, that's how I really figured out who was really for this and who wasn't for this. You know, my thing is this, man. When it come to telling, man, this is the best thing I could tell you, man. I done been on both sides of the spectrum. I ain't never told on nobody in my life, you know, and my thing is this here, man. If you don't put yourself in a position to be told on, it nullifies that. My thing is this here, man. If somebody kidnapped my son, and I'm like, hey, man, you seen who got my son? And dude like, man, I don't do no telling. What if somebody kidnapped your kid and you went to him, but this dude, he to the I don't know who did that. I don't know, man. I don't do no telling. You know what I'm saying? How you go feel?
Yeah.
You see? Or if somebody did something to somebody snatched the purse, and you know the dude that snatched the purse is standing right up over there, and it's an old lady, and she like, man, I need my medicine. I just want my medicine. He can keep the money. I just need my medicine. And this dude's standing over here. Is you gonna say, give her back her purse? Or is you just gonna be like, damn, I ain't got nothing to do with that. I'm gonna be cool. See, and what people don't understand is God will test you. Gotta test you. For real. Because if you doing wrong, man, ain't nobody got to tell on you. If you doing wrong, eventually it's going to catch up with you. It's called karma. And trust me, man, you might not think that, you know, it going to come the next day. But look, I got 80% of my homeboys dead because they thought they got away with something. That's why the majority of us is not here. That's why Donna is no longer an active gang like it used to be, because they thought they got away with something. The coast looked like a cemetery because they thought they got away with something. It's so many little black. Vegas is too small to be this big for us to have all. Y'all don't know how many dead people it is, huh?
No, I know.
Yeah, it's generations gone.
whole heat.
Look, brother, it's whole neighborhoods that's wiped out. Vegas Heights is wiped out. I grew up next to Vegas Heights. That gang is gone. There's probably about 5 or 6 of them left, man.
Close the borders.
They gone, bruh. So when it comes to telling, you know, one thing about me, I'm going to just keep it 100, youngster. Don't put yourself in a position to be told on and you won't be labeled a snitch. Don't put yourself in a position to have to tell on someone. You know, don't put yourself in a position. It nullifies all that. If you put yourself in a position, man, and you put everything you do in your homeboy, you go realize that at the end of the day, the only homeboys you got is the one you on the phone with begging for $40, which is your mama or your girl. You know, them dudes that you got in the car with, they go act like they don't know you. And if they looking at too much time, they don't care if you did it or not. By the time they get through lying and telling on you, the police go swear you did it.
Facts.
Facts. Are the police tactics, can you fall for them easily to the point to where they do turn you without you even really?
It depends on who you are. Like me, I've been dealing with the police since I was 10 years old, you know, and they couldn't do nothing with me, you know what I'm saying? But yeah, it's something, look, man, this gangster stuff is fake. Look, man, ain't no such, see, when people hear the word gangbanger, I don't know why they think it's something different. It's just a badass person who don't have no morality and no civility. They probably need they behind whoop. They uneducated and grew up without their father or something like that. That's all that is, man. Ain't nothing special about us. We don't have no superpowers because we gangsters. We ain't even gangsters. We just a bunch of hyenas or coyotes with nothing to do. And we scared to go to school. We scared to challenge ourselves, you know, and we don't have no self-esteem. And if you do, we go beat you up because you ain't got no business being happy. We over here, we ain't happy. Ain't nobody smiling over here. What you smiling for? So that's what we on. You know what I'm saying? But ain't nothing special about us, man. For real. We clowns, man. We clowns. I'm keeping it 100. We clowns. When we do what we do, we clowns. And we think that stuff cool. It's not, man. And I don't want no youngster to think sagging your pants is putting a bandana on yourself and claiming a neighborhood you can't stop them from tearing down. Don't, look, man, take your behind to school. And if you want to join something, join the military. Join a fraternity, a Mega Psi Phi Q, dog. Do something like that. You know what I'm saying? You don't got to join the gang.
Don't join our elders.
For real, I'm just keeping it 100.
Disrespectful.
Don't join our elders.
Don't disrespect us like that, beloved.
What did I do?
I found this one too.
He talking to him.
I'm in a
He
fraternity,
talking
that's
to
why.
him. He in a fraternity,
Yeah,
so he
that's
told him don't. He said don't join
my
his fraternity.
Oh,
You Big Mitch at a right age though?
what fraternity
He'd
is?
be a great addition.
What fraternity
Iota
is?
Phi Theta. We were founded in 1963 during the Civil Rights Movement. We the last one out the D9.
Child, man.
Well, y'all ain't nothing but an offshoot of the Black Boule, man. Henry Milton, man. And you already know about that, so we're going to leave that alone. But, you know, y'all ain't an offshoot of the, and that's just like the Black Illuminati. So, you know,
think so?
I know so. The Ku Klux Klan is a fraternity. The Ku Klux Klan, which stands for Sacred Circle, was started.
Talk to him.
Yeah, it was started in 1919, but they are off branch of Sons of Malta. Sons of Malta is an off branch of Knights of Malta. If you look up Knights of Malta, you will see the Queen of England, Desmond Tutu, Nelson Mandela. It's occultism. Y'all ain't no different. Ain't y'all words Greek?
That's only the language. We speak King's English. We speak English. They don't speak English.
But what's the name of your fraternity?
Iota Phi Theta Fraternity Incorporated.
You said that real fast. Say it slow.
Iota Phi Theta Fraternity Incorporated.
Is that Greek?
Yes.
Thank you.
Just the letters. The only thing Greek about us is the letters.
The only thing Greek. Listen,
We speak English.
I understand
we
what
speak
you
Latin.
Listen. I understand.
what you
So do
saying.
the Ku Klux Klan.
Yeah, but
They ain't nigger Greek, English.
I thought it originated from Africa.
No, ain't nigger English. It means ignorant.
Yeah, but who gave that meaning? What What country?
White
people-
man. It all happened during the Great Renaissance, which was in the 1500s. Then do you really want to go there? Because I love talking
Talk
to
to
y'all.
him.
Let's go.
Where you want to go?
Talk to him.
Where you want to go?
I'm hearing you out.
Okay, well,
The only thing that's-
what did you ask me?
What did I ask you?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I didn't ask the
He
question.
said,
Oh, okay.
The only thing that Greek is
The only thing that Greek about us is our letters. Everything we do is black.
No, I never denied that. I'm
Right.
just saying, but the inception of it, start with the letters, right? Where do y'all get the concepts of being a fraternity from? You get it from Henry Milton and them first 5 black dudes that wasn't even they don't have no collegiate affiliation. They're the Boule. You guys are sons of the Boule.
We wasn't founded in the Dinan though.
I know, but
Right,
neither
we
were them.
came later.
So y'all was like the
Sigma.
stepson of the stepson?
No,
Yeah,
we-
yeah,
somebody
listen.
just
What's they called? Sigma Pi Phi was started in 1903.
that was who?
Sigma Pi Phi, yeah, the Black Boule. He started by Henry Milton.
Yeah, but that's a whole nother
I
organization.
know,
We're
but
not-
they're the first
they're
black.
the first black fraternity.
Exactly, and
Right.
the reason why they are different is because they didn't go to school. They were wise men that came together. They were all like professors and stuff, just like Adam Weishaupt in Bavaria, Germany in 1776 when he came. He made the Illuminati.
Correct.
Yeah,
But they're not part of the Divine Nine.
know,
They're a total separate entity.
I know, but it started with them. That's where y'all get the concept from. That's all I'm
But there
saying.
was fraternities before that black fraternity.
I understand that too, but it all comes from Egyptian mystery teachings. Now, where else you want to go?
But Egypt, but Egypt
where
is in.
it's-
So Egypt
where
is in
it's
what
started.
continent?
Still got the roots.
It
He
comes
telling you
back
where the
to-
roots
But
is
it
at.
comes back to Africa,
Yeah, I never denied that.
right?
That's still in the
Yeah,
Mediterranean right there.
see, we on the same plan. It's just I'm trying to tell you that even though you speak a black dialect and all that, your letters are still Greek.
We're talking about words, letters, and the only reason they're Greek because they had to get the school
Okay,
funding in the
well,
colleges.
in order for us to exist, you believe in religion?
Yes, I do.
Okay, in order for us to exist, what happened? Didn't God said, "Let there be light"?
Yes.
Or what are those?
What is the light?
No, what is the saying? Let there be light. Ain't those words?
Yes.
Okay, and that's when life started, right?
Yes. but-
Okay, so now stop. Okay, so Greek. When y'all
Greek letters is a language, right?
Yeah,
so we all speak different language, but we all can worship the same
Okay,
God.
So
Whoa.
hey, SO, you might as well stay there.
Hold on,
They
wait.
eat the dogs, dog.
Wait.
They eat
Wait. No. Okay.
the dogs.
Who educated the Greeks?
We did. The Muslims that took over. No. who educated the Greeks?
The Abyssinians.
Where they originate
The
from?
Abyssinians and the Kemets.
What part of the country they originate from?
It's
They
East
originate from
Africa. Okay,
but we still come back from Africa. Everything gonna get rooted back to Africa. It went off to Greek and it got diluted and migrated and remixed or whatever, but it originates all back from Africa.
Okay.
They took our teachings. They just took it and remixed it.
Which Greeks
they took our original Bible, remixed it, gave it the King James version. But it still comes back it all comes back to Africa at the end of the day.
What part?
I want to say whatever part where the Crusades took place. I don't know. That far back in history, I can't go back. I'll be honest with you.
Okay, this is what I'm gonna do. Next time you have a conversation, I'm gonna bring you a life jacket because you're sinking. All right, now listen.
Okay.
Okay,
That was a good one.
first of all, Homer, Herodotus, Aristotle, they studied in Egypt. Okay, when Alexander the Great died, he died when he was 33 years old. When he died, he had 4 generals. One of them went into Egypt because that was one of the colonies he had. That's why when they invaded Egypt, Aristotle told, one of his generals to preserve the Library of Alexandria. And that's where they get the teachings from that you're talking about.
Right. We had to teach the Greek.
Yeah, we taught them. The Ethiopians did too.
So if we teach the Greek, but we're using their letters, that's still
What do you think Ethiopian is? That's a Greek word. It stands for burnt face.
correct.
Okay, so Ethiopia real name is Abyssinia. Okay, so the Ethiopians is the ones that the Greeks said had dark faces and white teeth. They described them as being tall, dark, and beautiful. And them ones that Homer and Herodotus talk about, there was Ethiopian. Ethiopia is the mother of Egypt. Okay, in the biblical term, it's the land of Cush. Egypt is Mizraim. Libya is Put. They are all brothers. They're the sons of Ham.
Right.
Like Nimrod, the ancient founder of Babylonia, which is now modern-day Iraq. Now, like I said, next time, man, you talk, I'm gonna bring your life jacket, my fraternity brother.
So is this? Are you saying? You would be against them? Are you against? Would you be for or against them? Or are you
for
just
or
talking about
against
the foundation of?
I love my fraternity brothers,
yeah,
man.
yeah.
No, don't get it misplaced. I love y'all the best thing that happened to us in some form. You know, you got Shaquille O'Neal, Omega Psi Phi, Michael Jordan, Omega Psi Phi, Bill Cosby, Omega Psi Phi, Alpha Kappa Alpha. These brothers, a lot of these brothers, the Eastern Star, these brothers, I mean, a lot of y'all have done extraordinary things, you know, and I'll give you that.
Yeah.
But you cannot deny the fact that you brothers really are sons, and the offshoot, y'all just have collegiate affiliations. A lot of y'all went to school like Grambling and all these other places, but the Boule don't have collegiate affiliation. Now the Boule is people like Jay-Z, Denzel Washington. These are the black Boule. You know, they're the black form of Illuminati. They're all even Bill Cosby was black Boule. Clarence Thomas is black Boule. Thurgood Marshall, they're black Boule. They're black Boule, man. They're like Kendrick said, they're not like us. They're not like us. They're not.
What is the Boule? What is the Boule?
The Boule is a bunch of black people that got together that's like Booker T. Washington, W.E.D. Du Bois. See, they believe in educating yourself and integrating with white people and showing them that you're capable of learning and that they will accept you because you're not 3/5 of a human being. And you have people that was against that, like Marcus Garvey, that was like, hell no, I ain't trying to integrate with them. I'm black, I'm African, my head nappy, and you see. So my thing is, the thing about the Boule is they're people that they send to us to pacify us. It's okay. Just don't be too loud and obnoxious, and master, he won't whoop you. Okay? See, the black Boule would be people like Uncle Tom. See, we was taught when a person, let's just say, don't talk like us and talk proper, that's Uncle Tom. But what you don't understand is that Uncle Tom is a slave that refused to kill and whoop other slaves. So what did they do? They went and got Sambo.
I say Uncle Tom was low key a hero.
Yeah,
Sambo was the one.
Exactly.
He got the terms wrong.
You see, so you have to understand, man. When you have people, what the Illuminati works off of is something called mass seduction. Now, if you have mass seduction is what Obama had. Mass seduction is what Benito Mussolini had. Mass seduction is what Malcolm X had. It's what Farrakhan has. If you have the ability to bring groups of people together, like Taylor Swift, like Beyonce, you have the Beehives, the Barbies, the Swifties. That's mass seduction. Drake has mass seduction. That's why they gave him an owl. The owl, what's the owl? That's the demon. If you go on Bohemian Roads in California where all the elites meet, what's they demon up in there? It's a big ass owl. You have to know what you're dealing with, man. That's why I say when you your fraternities and stuff like that, you brothers is good. Y'all do your charity work, y'all dances, y'all have y'all little cute dogs, y'all be stepping. I like your drilling and stuff, man. You brothers y'all operate at high levels of society. I give you that, you know what I'm saying? But y'all also low key gangbangers too. But I'm gonna leave that alone.
Oh, absolutely. We went to a fraternity pool party, and the first thing I told Enzo is, this is organized gangbanging.
That's what it is, cause
y'all stepping for an hour straight.
That's so disrespectful.
Throwing up that shit. It's organized. It's organized walking.
Black man get educated, go to college, join a fraternity, do something good for his community, and y'all want to compare him to gangbanging.
Well,
that is organized gangbanging.
The Q dogs and the Capitals used to go at it. You got the dudes with crimson and cream and the canes, and then you got the dudes with the gold and the purple on. Come on, that's the sound of a man working on a chain. Yeah, and then y'all coming in with canes and doing all kind of stuff, and y'all be clowning too, man. Y'all.
Hey, they 100+ years old fraternity. We like 60 years old.
But y'all be doing y'all thing. But see, I would rather my son do that.
We more tied to the civil rights movement. We was founded in the civil rights movement during the time when everybody benefited from those things that we went through. So that's why we kind of curve different from the traditional alphas and kappas and.
Yeah, but what's the difference between y'all and Masons? Now, I never seen a fraternity, brother. Yeah, see, that's what
we build tradition. We don't rest upon a tradition. So but we don't have a long history that we're leaning towards. We're creating our tradition as we go.
What can you tell me something about your bylaws?
What do you mean?
Tell me something about y'all. I don't know.
On record, like down?
Yeah, tell me something.
I'm not gonna do that in public. That's kind of.
So ain't nothing different between y'all and Masons, huh? You keep just proving my point. You know what? I'm gonna just get you. I'm not gonna get you. I'm gonna get you a ski. I'm gonna get you some jet skis. That's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna get you some jet skis because I love talking to you, brothers. What else you want to talk about?
I ain't bring it up, man.
I still want to talk to you about something. What else you want to talk about?
What you want to talk about?
What you tell me?
He said,
I'm good.
How far the sun is from the earth?
I don't know.
Oh, you don't know?
I'm not going there.
Okay, I'll tell you this. Oh, let me ask you this. Who was John B. Skinner?
Don't know.
Who invented psychology?
Freud.
Who?
That's a form of psychology. Sigmund Freud?
Sigmund Freud.
No, William Watt. William Watt. Let me see. Let me give you something I think. Okay, what happened in 1919 in Russia that changed the landscape, that changed Russia from a monarch state into what it is now, which is communism?
Was it World War I? I don't know. It's Russia. You asking a black man born in Alabama about Russian history in 1919?
No, I'm asking asking my fraternity brother about some.
We was founded in 1963.
Okay.
Why we doubling back to 1919 in Russia?
Because it's called history.
I'm black first. I'm putting my community
What
first.
that got to do with what happened? I'm gonna help you. I'm gonna tell you, homie.
Okay.
See, King Solomon say man sharpens man just as iron sharpens iron.
That's true. Yeah.
And you know, why?
Yeah, many wives and concubines too.
You're right. Yeah. He did. Ain't nothing wrong with so King David killed man with his. He killed 10,000 men. He killed Saul's family. And but when God got through with him, even Jesus Christ said, "I come from the bloodline of David."
Yep.
So my thing is this shit. See, what happened in 1919 is that Vladimir Lenin, he came out of exile from Serbia. Okay, under this time, Russia was up under King Alexander, the monarch. He was the Tsar. His name was Tsar Nicholas, my mistake. And what happened was Nikita Khrushchev, Joseph Stalin, Leon Trotsky, Vladimir Lenin, they formed what was known as the Bolshevik Revolution. Okay, the Bolshevik means majority. They're called the Red Army. That's why Russia is like, they have red square and all that. Yeah. And what they did is they overthrew Tsar Nicholas and they murdered his whole family. Okay. And they introduced like teachings of Karl Marx and Friedrich Engels, you know, and that's how they took over Russia.
Karl Marx is the founder of Marxism, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Hitler, all of them was up on a socialist and all of those stuff. But that's how Russia became what it is. And the reason why I asked you this is because history, you have to know it. We study history so it don't, repeat itself. That's and true. All the great learned men, known men, wise men of the world, they all, look, the Jews said the best. Even Winston Churchill, because I don't want to say nothing that's going to deem me anti-Semitic. Yeah. Winston Churchill said, history is going to be great to Great Britain. And they said, why? He said, because I'm going to write it. You see? So it's best to know history. Right. Go back and learn history.
So you don't repeat it.
Exactly.
Would you say you're a Christian? Or you read the Bible?
I study universal law, bro. I have a concept of my ancestors. I believe in becoming one with the absolute consciousness that transcends all mental concepts. I believe in universal law. Men follow common law. That's why it's easily corrupted and broken. Yeah. I follow universal law, which is 360 degrees. When God introduced himself, he said, I am the who. He said, I'm the Alpha, I am the Omega. I am the who is, the who was, and who is to come. I'm the Almighty, meaning he has no beginning, no end. It's a consciousness level. You think on a third conscious level, conscious, unconscious, and subconscious. What your job is to elevate to a higher consciousness, which is a fourth consciousness of level. You see? And that's where we're going in. That's why everything that you see now is going out, and there's a new awakening coming. That's why they want to keep this new order, and they say if you're woke, they try to brand that as being something that's bad.
How familiar are you with the Bible?
Very. Let's go.
I want to ask a question.
Okay.
Right, I'm very familiar with it, and I was just reading over it the other day, right? In 2024, the most famous story in the book, Mary giving birth to Jesus, right? Mm-hmm. Did Mary give consent?
Mm-mm. That's why I have a problem with that, and everybody believed that Joseph was Jesus' father. And my thing is, I don't really get into that because I'm going to tell you something about Christianity. First of all, Jesus never called himself a Christian. The enemies of Jesus was named that. You can first see the first form of Christian in the book of Antioch. The enemies of Jesus. Jesus was long gone before his disciples were labeled Christians by his enemies. Jesus know nothing of Christianity.
Christian's the first gang.
But I'm just saying, Jesus know nothing of Christianity. That means to be crystallized in the teachings of Christ. That's what his enemies called his followers. Jesus know nothing of that. So I don't get into, that type of stuff.
No, I'm just talking about just the reading of the scripture.
You talking about the Immaculate Conception? I don't. It's so much wrong with that, because the same thing happened in Islam. The Prophet Muhammad was in the cave, and the same person that came to Mary and told her that she was going to be impregnated with the Messiah is the same person that came to the Prophet Muhammad in the caves of Mecca and told a man that's supposed to been dialected. He's supposed to been dialected to read, and he couldn't even read. So Gabriel is a character, whether you want to believe in it or not, that played an important role in, as being like a voice for God. But my thing is why would he send Gabriel when he spoke through the burning bush?
Yes.
See, it's other ways that God, when Moses went into the mountain Sinai to get the tabernacles, he didn't have to, Gabriel was nowhere around. See, that's why the Bible contradicts itself in a lot, but I don't do that because the Bible is just a bunch of elaborate stories, that was put together. It consists of 3 books: the Torah, which is Genesis through Exodus. Mm-hmm. Then you have the Gospel, which is Mark, Matthew, John, and Luke. And then you have Pauline Christianity, which is the New Testament, which consists of 27 books. You see, so it's a compilation of beautiful written stories by people like William Shakespeare, who's actually Francis Bacon, and all these other people. So I don't get caught up in that.
Yeah, no, I was just asking because I did read over it, and I'm like, damn, looking at this through 2024 eyes, right? It could only be 2 things. Just pure scripture. I'm not even going off of 2 things. Either she cheated, and Joseph saved her because she would have been stoned, or God was like,
But
he was sugar free.
Consent, I would think, is a new term, like in the last couple of.
That's what I was saying.
That's why he
just to
said
say,
2024.
That's what I was saying in 2024 eyes. Either like I'm using my power to, you know what I mean?
Your job in 2024, brother, is see, one thing about you that you don't even, and probably a bunch of you guys, I know you for sure.
Fraternity, brother.
I don't really know his brother over here,
Yeah.
but y'all already are leaders, and you don't even know it, man. You miss. You know what? You so lucky, dude. You won the lottery, homie. You didn't join a gang. That you should stand up and clap because you didn't get infected with that. It infected so many boys that looked like you that didn't have a chance.
Well,
He tried.
Well, my story.
He almost did.
No, see, my
They
story
like
is a
his
little
tongue
different.
ring.
And my uncle actually knows you. I don't want to put his real name out there, but his name Tiny. He did a lot of time. Too.
Where you from?
Hood. They call him Tiny.
Yeah,
We'll talk off the.
Yeah, I know you talking about.
Yeah.
It's all great.
We'll talk off the mic. But he said he actually knew you and he was, you know what I mean? But my situation was, I seen it. I watched it. All of my uncles. I am the last male on my dad's side that hasn't been to prison. The last one. And so I watched them go in and out of the system. And so what ended up happening is we actually moved to Rose Garden when my dad was in prison. And just that environment there, I was like, hey man, let me give this a try.
What was you banging?
He was attempting.
What was you attempting to bang?
Donna.
He was pledging.
He's a GQ.
Everybody was banging Donna at 1 minute, man. Everybody.
It was. You know what I mean? Like I was over there a lot. I knew a lot of people. It wasn't just like some shit where, we know some stories out there. It wasn't no shit where I was actually in that environment and I was like, I'm gonna take this on. But when my dad got out, that was pretty much over.
That's good, man. Well, you know what, bro? Let me be the first to commend. I commend you, man, for whatever your struggle was, brother. You made it. I'm pretty sure you got a beautiful family, man.
Yeah.
Look, bro, it's your job to stand up. It's your time now. People like me is like dinosaurs, bro. And one day you're not gonna hear my voice gone because I had my time. My time came and it went. I'm a voice of the past, homie. And the thing about it is, y'all the new OGs, and we have an opportunity to get it right here in I'm glad you said 2024 because Cat Williams says the year of the truth, and it's been a year of a bunch of truth. And the thing about it is, it's y'all time, man. Even this youngster here, man, it's y'all time to step up, man, and take y'all rightful place.
Call him a youngster. He is not young.
I'm actually the youngest one in
He's
here.
the youngest one.
Who the youngest one?
He is. He's 36.
30.
But
How old are you?
40.
You 40? Where you come from?
I'm from Hoods.
Oh, you hood?
I grew up on
You know
right
DT?
over there.
Four Hood and all that.
I grew up with him. We were the two Dantes when
DT is actually under me.
when they was
DT was under me.
Okay, you know when DT was in the Who Scout, me and him we call it the cipher. We used to work out together, and you know he speak 5 different languages.
Yeah.
You know me and him.
Damn,
We used to sit there and we used to just call cipher, and it's like we just sit there and we just kick knowledge. You know how people just sit there and they'll bust a freestyle.
Yeah.
If you could just sit there and you could just kick knowledge off your head, we
You
call it
just did to
cipher.
me.
Yeah. We just cipher. You know what I mean? And that's how we kept each other sharp, because we didn't just work out. We worked out our mind. You know what I mean? And that's how we reclaimed our individuality, and that's why he doing what he doing now. See, he broke the curse at a young age so it can be done. I watched it happen.
Yeah, DT was like
See, that's why
14 when he first started catching.
That's why I say I enjoy bringing OGs like yourself on. I wouldn't look at y'all as voices from the past. You know what I'm saying? I honestly I just look at you guys like I feel sorry in a way. Not in a way that's disparaging. With me, growing up in it and seeing my dad and my uncles and even your situation, I think what really keeps me away from it is I thank God it hasn't happened as much as it could. You know what I mean? But it's the fact that you guys have that was really, really in it. There are so many people that are no longer here and around you. I don't know if I could handle the emotional aspect of that, and not even just that. The fact that you guys have so many people around you that's no longer here. So emotionally, I'm just depleted because I got family, I got homeboys, I got everybody that's gone, and then also trying to give that to somebody else. I don't know if I could handle that in the stories that I hear from you guys, and it's just like, damn, you know what I mean? I don't know how y'all do it. I really don't.
Well, we had no choice but to do it. What happened, man? Most gang wars in Las Vegas, whether you want to believe it or not, I mean, a lot of them don't start with nothing gangster. A lot of it be over behind females, man.
Yes.
It be two dudes messing with a females. I'm not saying all of them, but a lot of them used to be messy. They'll mess with gangbangers, and there'd be dude from over here and a dude from over here, and they'll put them on the phone with each other, and they'll disrespect each other, and they messing with the same female, and somehow they'll run into each other, and it'll go bad for one of them, and they'll probably get killed, and then next thing you know, his neighborhood is riding on the fact that he from over here and he from over here, but they beef wasn't that. They beef was behind her. Mm-hmm. You see, and it's a lot of dudes that then died over rims, car rims. You see, a lot of gang banging was incidents happening not because, what's up, Paru, or what's up, Gerson? No, a lot of gang banging happened over domestics and drug deals going wrong and everything but gangster stuff. I mean, I'm not saying it wasn't a lot of gangsters, in there, but I'm gonna be honest with you. A lot of legends got killed over either he say, she say stuff, messing with another female, or just, good girl gone bad, man.
Where did the disrespectful terms come from? Like, who came up with the?
Which one?
I don't want to say them, but like
what?
Like Herbs, like Duke, like Snud,
We
like Sissy.
Like, who came up with the disrespectful terms that just took a life of its own?
Well, back in my era, we wasn't called Herbs. We was called Garbage Pail Kids or Flirts.
My cousin tried to get me to call one that.
Garbage Pail Kids, Flirtsons, or gay people kicking it and stuff like that.
I ain't heard that one. Damn.
They used to get out of it used to be bad. And then the Donnas, we gave the Donnas the name Duke because we used to call them. That's short for Dookie Street, but they used to call us Kmart. You know what I'm saying? Or KIX, like kicks, like cheap cereal kicks.
The old names are amazing.
Yeah.
I don't know how the old names didn't stick to the ones that we hear now.
Yeah.
Shit.
Oh God! And even I thought Herb just came from because y'all was Dirty Herbert Gerson. Yeah. Gersons.
The '60s gave us that name, Herbs. Herbert Gerson is short for Herbs, but see, it's a New York slang. If they say Herb in New York. EPMD used to say Herb. Yeah, it's a disrespectful term, even Mark or something like that. But the Gerson is short for Herbert Gerson. Right. But they the 60s came up with that. And the Donna Streets gave the 60s that other name. Yeah. They called them running, crib, you know what I'm saying?
Wait, they call. Oh, okay, okay, I catch you.
And the Parus, you know, they you know, Paru stand for pimps in red uniforms, you know, but you know, we started calling them roosters and stuff like that, and we gave them that name. People gave them a disrespectful name. West Coast Bloods was, you know what that is. Cheese toast, West Coast, wet toast, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Stuff like that, you know. Everybody, and everybody got a disrespectful name for everything, you know what I'm saying? So, you know.
I'm not trying to be disrespectful.
Yeah, you know, but
that was actually very funny. That was funny.
that, you know, I don't, you know, we just going back and forth, man. We very creative, you know, with the shoes, like K-Swiss. K-Swiss stand for killer S when I see some. And you had a Deodoras, all day I dream about killing all S's. You know what I'm saying? So we did it with the shoes. Yeah, we did it with the shoes. We ain't had nothing better. See how creative we was?
Yeah.
Now imagine, now
We
imagine.
did the same.
What was the first? What was the first
That's
one?
crazy.
What was the first one that not you was called that you heard and was like, damn, that was pretty fucking good.
What disrespectful name?
Yeah.
The gay people kicking it.
That shit is crazy.
I just heard
That's the
that
one I'm
one
thinking of. That shit
just
is
now. I'm like,
crazy.
Yeah, when they used to call us that, I used to be seethed and I used to be so much. I used to be mad. I'd be like, what gay people? And it made, I'm like, oh no, it made you want to not hang out with nobody. You know what I'm saying? And they call yourself GPK, the gay people.
it could have been a deterrent.
Hey, we used to be. Hey, look, we used to be in the car. We used to get into it with the power rules, so we go to Hamburger Heaven, and we'd be strapped though, and they'd be strapped. Nobody really want a bus. We just want a burger. You know what I'm saying? So we get into it, the power rules and stuff, and we be disrespecting, oh, rooster ass nigga, fuck fly rule, you punk ass woo. They be like, fuck you flourishing ass nigga, you gay people kicking it, nigga. K lay down. We say K down, they'll go K lay down, nigga, and we be like K lay, and we be in the car. We used to be rolling back to the Gerson looking like this. Gay people kicking it, looking at each other. Man, gay people kicking.
Yeah, they
You know what I'm saying? We used to be on that type of stuff right here.
Y'all won that round.
We used to be disrespectful, man. Yeah, and then Parus fight hard too. They fight hard in the motherfucker.
Before we get up out of here, because I have to know, which Vegas gangs are not California influenced?
Look, this gonna be good.
Look at him. Look at him.
Yeah, let me.
I got one more on top of that too.
Number one, the Gerson, Donna, 40 Block, Carry Arms, Winslow Park, West Coast. See, well, West Coast started off as West Coast Crips.
I say that was Crips.
Okay, that's San Diego, but Kenny, I ain't gonna say his name. You know, a Vegas boy changed that to West Coast Bloods, so that diminished, you know, the Cali form of it. It's West Coast Bloods. Out there, they West Coast Crips. The Playboy Bloods. Out there, they Playboy Gangster Crips. That had nothing to do with the Playboy Bloods. Del Monaco, BTDs, Bite to Dust, Vegas. Hollywood in California, Compton is Paru. But out here, they Vegas. That mean out here, they Bloods. So it's Hollywood Bloods out here. But in Compton, California, Hollywood is Paru. You see what I'm saying? So I don't know what way you want to play that. But you have ABMs. That's Vegas. Brownie Boys. That's Vegas. Sydney Sue. That's Vegas. Bonanza Village. That's Vegas. Everything about Vegas is Vegas except the rolling 50s, the rolling 60s, the NTGs when they first started off. You know, the first like couple of them, it was one guy. He was from 74 Hoover. You see what I'm saying? And this when they was on Princeton. You see, now, when they went to Wrigley Estates and they became Northtown Gangsters, the 74 Hoover stuff, that went away. So Northtown Gangsters is Vegas born. Okay. Vegas is not influenced by Cali. I don't know why people think that California have that type of influence. That's when we one state they don't.
Well, I was hearing your I was listening to the show. I don't miss too many when you drop. Shout out to you. When you I know two I heard off top. It was the one about Paru. It was a brother from San Diego, I believe you said. Yeah. The park across the street that is now HP Fitzgerald, he seen that and went back. Did he go back? Or took some Vegas guys back there and then they came back and that's how.
Well, like I say, Paru, you know, they can tell their story better than me, but they started in Cadillac Orange, man. Now the guy you talking about, his name Mickey Simmons. Mickey Simmons, you know, was one of the founders of Paru, but not the founder. You know, you had dudes like Quando, JB, and a couple more dudes that was Paru's. You know, but what happened was, they started over there. You know, one of the other Parus, like Quando, he went to California and all that. But Mickey Simmons was from San Diego. He was from Lincoln Park. At this time, Lincoln Park were Parus back then. They Lincoln Park Bloods now. But the Fitzgerald Park that you're talking about, that's right across the street from Madison Terrace, was called Lincoln Park. See, before it was Fitzgerald Park. That's what drew Mickey Simmons to that area from Cadillac Arms. Because Cadillac Arms is originally the OG's neighborhood. You ever heard of that gangster OG? I mean, that gang called the OGs?
No, that's before my time.
Yeah.
I was born in '88.
It stand for original gangsters, but a lot of people, you know, that's Serpo, Tiger, and a bunch of other dudes. They around Michael Finley them era. Okay, they was called the OGs. They fought the War Babies and all them people. But that's what the Pirus were. And then they left there and they went to Madison Terrace because that park was called Lincoln and it drew Mickey Simmons to that. That's why the Pirus were red and green. That's what the Lincoln Park Bloods were. Yeah. You know, so that influence right there is, you know, they can tell it better than me. Yeah. But Mickey Simmons was from California, but he's not, you know, he's one of the founders, but you had other members too. It was like 5 of them. Because a lot of the Pirus that came along after that was known as the Bang Bang Gang. You see?
Okay.
That's a crazy name.
The other one, yeah, that's crazy.
Yeah.
The other one was I don't want to get them confused. So was it the GQs that got the Crip stamp from Hoover?
Nah.
Oh,
Nah.
because they numbers. You said they numbers are.
That's Watts. See?
Yeah.
Hoover's is not in Watts. See, 103, 104, 107, that's in Watts. The GQs used to be Backstreet Crips. That's Backstreet Crips is in Watts. Backstreet Crips' arch nemesis was Front Street Crips. They 107. And then 103 is Grape Street Crips. See? You didn't know. See, I'm going to say this because it's no secret. It's a gang of Donna Streets from Grape Street. Did you know that?
No, I did not.
Yeah. See, it's a bunch of that stage story, like I said. And I think Carl Wesley can tell you best who put the Crip handle on them. Because if I tell you that, that's going to be disrespectful to them because I'm not from over there.
Yeah, I got you.
You know, so I'll let them speak on that, man. But I'm going to say this here. They was a dance group, man. And I'm going to let them take it from there. You know what I'm saying? It is what it is.
You said it was a set of Hoovers that was on the west side. They got ran up out of there.
Yeah, over there, and that's Play, Big Play, Mouse, Twin, all them. They was over there, you know, back in the '89 and stuff like that. You had a clique of them, but you know, on Freeman Street and south of Alexander and all that, you had Bad Oak, which is Paul Synagogue them, and you know, Burgundy Square number is 604. Burgundy Square, Piru. Okay, 604 is where Paul Synagogue stayed. That's his address. That's where he lived. That's why. But you know, it's an individual that started Burgundy Square, Piru. That's Madison Terrace, Piru. You know what I'm saying? And that's his story. That's his creation. Yeah. But the Madison Terrace, Burgundy Square, Pirus is the ones that ran the 5 Deuce Hoovers up out of there. It's only one gang that came out here from California because they didn't even last long. The 5 Deuce Hoovers. It's only one gang that came out here and tried to set up shop and actually put up a fight, and that was the Backstreet Crips when they moved into Blood Turf, and that was a bloodbath, for real, for real.
When you speak on gang wars, which gang war, in your opinion, brought the most consequences that ended up tearing up gangbanging as we know it?
Well, it's a couple of them. The one with the West Coast Bloods and the Gersons is what woke up gangbanging in Vegas. The one with the Donna Streets and 6-0 is really the reason why they really bought gang units in, because that was a brutal war. But the wars that changed everything, that we lost the most, was the NTGs versus the Gersons, and the most bloodiest one was the 60s versus the Gerson. And the only thing that stopped that 60s, after the 60s and Gerson war, it was so messed up that the Gersons was war weary. They had the war with the whole North, you know, and sometimes, you know, it was just them versus the North. It wasn't the Bloods with the Gersons, because the Gersons is a big gang. They don't need help. So it was the Gersons against the whole North, then it's the Gersons against the Backstreets, and then it was the Gersons against the 60s. So the Gersons was war weary, you know, and if it don't be for the Wax, which is a younger generation, the Wax is like the Donna Streets to the GQs. If it don't be for them, the Gersons lose that war against the 60s easily. You see, the Wax, the younger generation, had to get in there. That's why it was so many lives lost. It affected Winslow Park, You know, it affected females was getting killed. A deacon got his head blown off right there. You remember that? They had to march. It was so many people getting killed in that war between the Gersons in the 60s that it didn't end until 2003 when the feds came in and indicted the 60s. And that's when the squad in Wood rose and took over. Because gang banging in its essence died. The 60s couldn't be a hood no more because when they indicted them, a lot of people just, you know what happened when and then the PBs got indicted. So people started getting indicted by the feds. The feds really disrupted everything because they was surgical when they was removing everybody. They was getting everybody that was doing something.
And it was in the newspaper every day. They made you know what they were doing. Yeah,
but they to me the best thing, and people don't have to like it. It's true. If they don't indict the 60s. It'd be so bloody. It'd be more mothers burying their children because that war had to stop. It was just it was getting out of hand. And people that wasn't even gang banging was getting affected. Like when you kill a deacon, you know, and stuff like that. Look, I'm going to tell you a cold story, man. It's going to blow your mind. I'm going to tell you how this peer pressure at its worst. And you can end it on this or whatever. But I had a little homeboy, and he stayed in Crip City, right? And, you know, during the height of the Gerson and 6-0 war, you know, a lot of people was dying. Yeah. And you know, they used to confront this dude. They used to be like, hey, man, you stand over here with these niggas and you kicking it with these niggas. Where you from? Man, I'm from the Gerson. Prove it. You over here hanging out with these cats, man. And we like, man, I grew up over here. I'm not hanging out with them. My mama stay over here. They like, no, we losing homies, nigga. You over here comfortable and shit. Why they ain't messing with you? You know what I'm saying? So basically, he had to make a move. And so I'm going to keep it 100 with you, man. I don't want to open up old wounds, but they turned that boy into a serial killer. For real. When you killed, man, listen, they did, homie. And what he did, one of the first things he did, you can speak on it because it's he told on himself. Yeah. And what happened is he lured two of his childhood friends because they were 6-0s, but this to prove his allegiance to the Gerson. He lured two of his friends in the desert. They was going on a lick, and they had this pistol. And he was like, they was all kicking it. They was going in the desert. And he said, hey, man, let me see the thing. They gave it to him. Man, I ain't thinking nothing. And he took it. He was playing with it. He domed one of his partners, and the other one took off running. He ran him down and domed him. Left him in the desert. They was in the desert about 3-4 days. People was going in the desert, poking them with sticks, little youngsters. Then he knocked some down at a bus stop. He waited 20 years after this happened, got pulled over and confessed to all that.
It's crazy.
But he did that because his homeboys was on his helmet. That's why I be saying about this gang banging stuff, man. He killed his childhood friends, man. Think about that, man. People that he grew up with, that even though they was from 60s and from Gersons, he grew up with them before they was 60s and Gersons. But his homeboys didn't like the fact that he was over there and can go over there and can live over there when they was at war with them over there. So he had to do something to make them feel like, yeah, it's all right now. And he took out his own homeboy. Now he ain't never getting out. And what them Gerson dudes that was telling him to go do it. They ain't sending him no money. They ain't writing him. They don't give a damn about him. So youngsters, if you listening, whatever your mama tell you, if she tell you don't get in the car, that's intuition. Don't get in the car.
Don't get your ass in that car.
If she tell you she don't like that boy you with, or where you find him at and take him back, take him back. If your girl, your baby mama, even if you can't stand her, if she tell you, baby, I got a bad feeling, listen. Because you know how many dudes that's walking around prison with that look in their face like, man, I wish I would have listened to her. Yeah, and they ain't never going home. So you remember that. It don't matter how tough you is or how bad you think you is, when they get you behind that gate, ain't nobody go open that gate. Remember that, man. This ain't no game, man. This real life, man. Robbed by the quietest place on the earth, which is Woodlawn Cemetery, Bunker Brothers.
Sad, bro.
You see what I'm saying? And there's so many of my childhood friends that's up under that grass up over there, homie. This ain't no game. You better off going to school, because honor roll is better than death row. Don't let nobody tell you anything different. And I'm up here. You read my shirt, Triple OG. I'm keeping it real.
Where can the people find you at? God damn, that was good.
Man.
Where can the people find you?
YouTube, the horror flick BIGG Mitch, Terrel Stewart, a.k.a. BIGG Mitch. Check me out on YouTube. I don't really do Facebook, but I got Chronicles I got Vegas Chronicles, and I got From the Ground Up, true life stories of everything that got to do with Vegas concerning gang banging to life, whatever you, for being institutionalized. If it has to do with Vegas, if it has to do with the streets, if it has to do with culture, you'll find it. Vegas Chronicles. Tune in.
Fellas.
Skinny Junior 777 on Instagram. Yeah, that's where you find me at.
I am S to the O on Instagram and Twitter.
Young Al Bundy, YUNG_Al_Bundy on IG.
Just call me Spence on Twitter. You can find the podcast pages on Twitter, Views from the 7, Instagram, Views from the _7, TikTok, Views from the _7, Facebook at Views from the 7. I gave them all, right?
Yeah.
This is good, man. This is way better than I even expected to be, man. My heart goes out to you, brother. Just man, with everything that you've been through and that you're dealing with, man. That's it. I ain't got nothing to say, man. Next week.
Yeah, man. I appreciate y'all, man. Whenever y'all need me, man, just reach out, man. I'll reach back, man. I don't mind doing this. I'm obligated, brother, man. Y'all keep doing what y'all doing. Everybody, it's a bunch of people watching you, people you don't think. And I'm going to tell you the most important thing, God watching you. So make sure when you represent yourself in a professional manner, respectable manner, man. And I wish you brothers nothing but the best, especially you. You know what I'm saying? And I think y'all got it. I'm not pointing them out. Because I'm pointing them out because I know what it's like. Listen, let me explain something to you before we go. I know what this. See, I'm not in the game, but I know the game, and I know what this brother is going through. And sometimes it be internal stuff going on. See, what destroys gangs in Vegas is internal strife. It's a new thing called backdooring. You know what I'm saying? That's the new norm now. The worst enemy that you gonna have in the game is your homeboy. You see, the biggest threat in the game now ain't the person that you supposed to be gangbanging. It's the person on the side of you. That's the new trend now, backdooring. They wait for you to get the bag and turn your back, then they backdoor you. You see, that's your homeboys, man. Remember that, youngster.
Well, keep doing what you're doing. You the first one. I know. I used to. I would see you in the gym all the time. I would see him in the gym all the time, right? And I'm like, God damn, boy, that's a big ass dude, man. Right? Then I seen him on YouTube one day, and I was like, damn, man. And then I started hitting him like, man, this shit good, man. Yeah. No, man, you know what? This shit really good, man. So I finally I just walked up to him and been like, appreciate you, brother, man. I'm learning a lot. Shout out to wifey. I had to hit her because I didn't want it to be like, it's weirdo nigga, man. It was this thing, you know what I'm saying? So, man, shout out to her, man, and shout out to you for really coming through. And that's it, man. Next week.
Next week.
We up out of here. Peace.
All right.